Oh, we'd have to put Anne
Sobo
backwards, wouldn't we?
So
I
I
don't
read
even- I really want to know how.
Yeah.
Navir. Yeah.
I really want to know how everybody else made her a friend, because apparently, like, we're one of the very few people that have chose to kill her.
Right.
We haven't killed her yet.
We're not killing her.
killing her.
We're not killing
Dang
her.
it, Riven, get it together.
We tried to kill her because we attacked her. No one else that the DM said did it. So
I mean,
Eh,
to
it
be
doesn't matter
honest,
what the
there
DM
was a
says.
certain person that almost froze her to death.
I tried to befriend her, okay? I tried to seduce her, and
I
she
thought you-
didn't want it.
You tried to grab her. You're like, come here.
Come on, let's get a beer. Who doesn't want to go hang out, you know?
but you tried to get her a beer. Then, when all your friends were attacking, you healed her and grabbed her and tried to drag her. I
Didn't heal
I
her.
agree with
She
being
grabbed her.
confused.
I did heal her. I healed
Oh,
her
you did?
first. Yeah, I healed her first.
I thought
You
that
And then
was
you tried to-
retconned.
It was retconned.
Yeah.
What's redcon?
Oh, because you
The
can't
heal,
do both.
because you can't take
can't
two
grapple
actions
and
in a
heal.
turn.
Oh god.
No,
yes,
I
you
couldn't run away with her because I'd already healed her. So then I just stayed there.
Okay, so it was the other one that was
You
retconned.
can't
Yeah.
grapple
Yeah.
her.
I couldn't
and-
run
yeah.
away with her because I'd
The
already.
grapple was
ready
retconned, not
for
the
her.
heal. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I healed her. And then she,
Then everybody else tried to kill her.
Yeah.
We didn't kill her. We knocked her out.
We nearly killed her. We nearly.
Then I-
If you hadn't knocked her out,
Meldonis nearly killed her. I'm putting it all on him. I don't care.
yeah, and then we left off where Mia's like sitting there holding her limp body, just weeping over her.
we gotta
And-
watch out for Meldonis. He's the real murderer.
my
Right?
guiding
It's
bolt
his
didn't
fault.
really help.
Yeah, you only stick the dagger into her for 50 damage. The other ones kill her.
Yeah, but it's not really the dagger. It's the
He was
back
doing
end
her
of
a
my
favor.
dagger knocking her out. All right, it's not.
Yeah, I
lethal.
forgot. Killing people is a favor. I'm gonna use that more often. I'm not killing you. I'm doing you a favor.
How many times do you have to hit her in the head before she'll like
To
forget
quote
everything?
someone, I only meant to seriously maim or injure, never kill.
Alright, well,
I'm just trying to protect her.
He's there with
Guys,
one hit point. It's just
if-
like this is but a flesh wound.
I think if
Everybody
we
shut up. He's trying to talk.
that's fine.
DM.
I was just gonna say I'm not sure where Meldonis is, so if we want, we can just get started.
All right, but you're going to have to be Maldonis.
We can start slow because I think we definitely need Meldonis for the next bit.
Well, he needs to go talk to Blackwater, but we.
It's also a matter
we,
of a deception or a
Maybe
persuasion
we
check.
can
So
see about
yeah.
waking up Lyra or getting her up and getting her on our side so she'll lure more people in. That way we don't even need Meldonis.
Yeah, no, we need to
we
all...
can RP talking with her once we've tied her up, I guess.
I
But,
mean,
Yeah.
her not being there might be the best reason to get more people down here. We could say she got like
injured.
captured by skeletons or chased away or whatever.
Well, I could always
right.
make
Some-
rolls for Meldonis.
yeah. Regardless, let's get the map up and get started.
So Scurry, you would be scribe this week. Are you okay doing it?
Yeah, probably. Should be fine.
Alright, and next week should be Meldonis, so we'll see what's going on with him. But Nalo, you were previous scribe. Do you want to give us a recap of last time on the Heroes of Chaur? Or Sobo Redrum is apparently your name now.
Not yet. Only
yet.
after we've killed everyone in the Blackwater Mansion.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
You gotta earn that title.
So, started at the Maplewood. Sort of talked to the whole party with Lyra and Meldonis there. We were unable to convince Lyra to drink with us or reveal much information, but she seemed to leave with a pretty good opinion of our party, which was probably unfortunate that... Anyway, so we decide after she leaves to just sort of go ahead with the plan of acting quickly on Blackwater. So now on Riven, head off to see Cithril and tell her to bring her people for the next day to potentially attack Blackwater sooner rather than later. The whole group sleeps and wakes up, goes into the depths, and we set up a trap in that room with the exploding skeletons, blow it up, kill a whole bunch of scholars. Meldonis was there with Lyra. We knock Lyra up, and yeah, right now she's unconscious.
All right. Thank you for the recap. So, what does the group want to do?
I will
Alright.
get my rope out, my hempen rope, and I will use it to tie up Lyra as I cry.
All right. So you tie up Lyra, who's pretty badly hurt.
I will go heal her, if that's fine.
All right. So you're gonna wake her up with the healing.
After she's tied up. Yeah.
All right. So you use a healing spell on her. Go ahead and expend the spell. Do cure light wounds, and she is once again awake. Suddenly startled up, looking around, and she says, "What have you done? What have you done?" She struggles a bit.
Listen, and as I'm talking to her, I'm gonna lay my hand on her knee and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, go ahead and expend the spell.
Fight Dark Castle.
We've got some stuff going on, and I think it would be best for you to just work with us. As you can see, these guys mean business, and I don't want to see you die.
Give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Sounds like intimidation. Holy shit. I don't want you to die.
Or you can do a intimidation check.
They're both pretty crap, but okay. Ooh,
She says, "You just killed all these people. You're all monsters. I would never help you."
well, that's all I got, guys.
Alright, well, it's casualties of wars, war less. If it means anything to you, we're tying you up. We're keeping you out of the situation for now, and we're letting you go after.
She just doesn't answer. She just kind of sits there.
We're not lying when we say casualties of war. We're actually currently working for Orcard.
I don't think that makes us sound any better, Nello. I'm gonna be honest.
The Iron
Doesn't-
Tide, the ones who attacked the village.
Yeah, there's
The ones who
sort
were
of a whole-
hired by your boss, yeah.
She says Blackwater didn't hire them to attack Chaur.
No, but he broke off ties with them, which led to it, which means he's responsible at the end of the day.
He brought them here. We can't blame the Iron Tide to behave as they are expected, but we can blame the one who is responsible for bringing them here.
She says, even if that were true, you just killed a bunch of innocent people.
That was certainly not the plan, and I'm gonna look angrily at Meldonis.
He says, well, I just thought that was the plan, what we agreed on. Bring them here and use the fireplace.
We agreed on killing soldiers, not scholars.
Regardless, this is not the time to be discussing that. And I will go ahead and gag her.
Alright. So you gag her, and what are you gonna do?
Well, first things first, let's get her moved out of this room, and let's see if we can get rid of these bodies in a way that doesn't make this room look too much more suspicious than it already did.
Mia's gonna pick up Lyra and start walking her.
I mean, what's our story? Like, maybe we leave them here and stick as close to the truth as possible.
That's
Yeah.
fair, But what I was thinking actually is maybe we can, because there's the other fireplace room with the skeletons still in it that explode. What if we pick them up, put them in this room, and then just spring the trap again, exactly like we did last time?
Does the trap work a second time in quick succession?
Probably worst case scenario, we kill one skeleton and set the chain explosion that way. Or they will because they think that the skeletons have attacked their comrades, which is what Meltonis is going to be telling them.
Yeah, makes sense. How are we gonna transport the skeletons? Maybe moving them might cause them to go off. I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. We'll just have to try and pick them up. If one of them explodes, it shouldn't be too bad. A little bit of damage.
A little bit.
Who's gonna take the damage?
The reason it hurt so much last time is because we were all in the blast radius of multiple at the same time.
No,
Well,
none
if
of you
we pick
were.
them
It
up
was
and
just
move them,
me.
we'll be in the radius.
Well,
It was
Riven.
just me. It was just me in the room, and they only detonated when I set the thing off, which detonated on the skeletons. So since they've already detonated, they shouldn't detonate again because they never just detonated all of them.
I mean, we've had other skeletons detonate when they died.
Yeah, but they
I'm
didn't.
assuming that it's the skeletons that detonate when they die. That is not the fireplace making them detonate.
No, it didn't.
Well, the fireplace did shoot flames out when you put the code in wrong.
Yeah, we'll try to use it again. So, out of character, can we move these bodies and make it look less suspicious, or are they just scarred and is there blood everywhere? And is it?
I mean, they're
salvageable
certainly
that way?
burned, so it looks like they were burned to death by something.
Why do we need to move
Can we move
them
the
if they're
bodies and
gonna
clean it
go
up a little
tell
bit?
them that
Yeah,
people-
where would you want to put them?
I'll throw them in the spider room, I guess.
Alright, so you want to move them over
Wait.
there.
Why don't we throw the bodies out of the fort, and then when they come looking for the bodies, they won't find them in either room, and we can just set the trap we just set off up again.
Exactly. The
But
main thing is what I'm trying to avoid is for them to come in here, look at the bodies, and see, holy fuck, there is a flame trap, or there's something to do with flames, and they're on their guard all of a sudden.
because
I want
if
to
they
catch
do,
them by surprise with the trap again, so let's move the bodies into like the spider room, keep them locked up there, try and tidy this up a little bit, so that way we can catch them on surprise again, or at the very least, spring the trap with decent,
Also, if we keep them from going
Success.
in this room, they will never know it in the other room, which we've got the bigger booth.
So you're going to pull the bodies into the other room? Is that the plan?
Yes.
for the bigger boom.
So you start
And,
moving the bodies into the spider room.
So the new plan is to do the same trap again, just setting off the
I think
the
so,
fire
yeah.
there.
In here. I'm gonna cast Tensor's floating disc while the others are moving the bodies.
I can't move shit because I'm tiny.
I wonder who they're gonna send though, because they won't send any more scholars. They'll send maybe a
Soldiers,
couple
yeah.
fighters or soldiers or something.
Mhm.
That's the plan. That way we can take some of them out before we actually assault the mansion.
Alright.
I'm gonna kill a lot of things.
So you take some time dragging the bodies into the other room. The floor isn't really that bloodied because it was more just the burns that killed them. I mean, if someone looked closely, they could probably find signs of combat if they had survival. But yeah, just to the casual onlooker, it doesn't seem that out of place.
Alright, perfect.
Alright,
Now,
reset.
let's see if we can move the skeletons. Who's willing to try that?
I'm down to try.
So Meldona says, do any of you have the skills to possibly make this area look a little cleaner? It does seem to be signs of a scuffle.
Well, I'm sure someone's got prestidigitation.
Says, not like that. I more meant like one would in the woods with hiding a trail. Maybe some skill in survival.
I mean, I've got survival. I can throw that down.
Alright, so you want to try to use that to clean up the area a bit?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so yeah, you go over it once and try to hide any evidence of something happening here. You think you did a pretty good job.
Look, I have a handful of charred skin, like pork rinds.
Alright. Now who's... Nala, you were volunteering to try and move the skeletons from the other room?
Yeah, why the fuck not? Let's try it.
Alright, so
YOLO.
you're heading to the other room. Go ahead and move through the halls. I'm gonna keep
Let me
Meldonis in
cast
the
my
background.
light.
I am feeling a bit wounded. I wouldn't mind if we could take a rest, Meldonis says.
We can take a short rest before we set our trap again, for sure. Then again, we do want you to look beaten up already, so I guess that just works out well.
Can you create
To
that
sell the
ice bridge
story,
again?
it's no real use taking a rest now, just to beat you up again so you look believable after.
Says, well, I thought maybe the beating up part could be more of an illusion, or hiding the wounds, not actual wounds.
Well, fair enough. If you think you can fool Blackwater or whoever it is you're talking to get help with an illusion, then we can do that for sure.
Well, it looks like Meldonis has joined us. So he can take over me playing Meldonis.
Of course I can fool Blackwater. I've done it plenty of times.
You already sound a lot better. You were sounding a bit weird a second ago.
It's just my ability to act.
I see.
Allergies.
How are you feeling? Like, still pretty good, or are you quite injured?
I hurt pretty bad.
Let's do a short rest after we set the trap then.
Alright,
I don't want to waste too much time.
So you swim through the water down here.
I mean,
And
can we get the ice bridge again, please?
Yes. I'm gonna use shape water to start creating an ice bridge.
okay, so you take some time to form a bit of a bridge. We'll say it's probably about 5-10 minutes or so.
Well, isn't it just 5 cantrips?
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you just
Yeah.
freeze? How much water do you freeze each time?
Yeah, it's a 5-foot square.
Oh, okay. As long as there's no one in it.
Yes.
All right. So it takes about maybe half a minute. So yeah, you go over. The skeletons are here.
So I have Tensor's floating disc. I cast that when the others move the bodies. And I'm gonna try and bring it into position behind the skeleton here. So I'm gonna move down into the corner, get it
Alright.
behind there,
you
and
can,
try.
You can cast it wherever you want. You could just put it behind the skeleton.
Yeah, but it takes 10 minutes, and doing it while the others are moving the bodies is more efficient.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have it placed behind the skeleton there, and then I'm gonna move up and try to have the disc knock into the skeleton, and hopefully it will move it.
We can just put it on the disc, right?
So I think the disc would just. I mean, it's the skeleton wouldn't step up onto it. The disc would probably just kind of move around the skeleton.
And it
Yeah.
will do that.
Can I?
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to like touch it and maybe like lift it a little bit, but maybe it's like.
All right. So touching the skeleton.
Does anything happen?
The skeleton doesn't seem to take much note of you, even when you touch it. Lifting it up. Yeah, so it probably weighs about 30 or 40 pounds, just the bones. You could probably lift it up without issue.
Okay, I'll attempt to lift it up and place it standing on the tensor's floating disc.
Alright, yeah, it'll be standing on the disc then.
Okay.
Can we
maybe
fit
move
multiple on there?
I think the
That's-
Tensor's disc is only like 3 feet, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't want to also, if one blows up, you don't want to lose the other ones too.
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
18
I have a
damage, so it's pretty
question.
small. I mean, it's a
Okay.
small platform.
Yeah.
If
Okay, then
all
I'm
four
gonna.
skeletons,
All right, I'm walking over here
All right,
while he moves.
hang on a sec. What was that, Mia? While they're doing
if
this,
all if all four skeletons killed the other guys, wouldn't it make sense to use one skeleton per round of people coming down to really seriously maim them and just finish them off versus
You
just big
do you
one
really
being.
think they're gonna send round after round after round if no one comes back?
Pretty sure the
Yeah.
idea is to finish off the next round and then actually start the main assault together with the peeps we got from the Blood Hand.
All right, let's do it.
And even just sending reinforcements is going to be somewhat of a red flag for them.
Exactly.
Alrighty, let's blow them up.
Okay, I'm gonna start moving upwards.
Okay. Well, I'm
Alright.
going to stand over here.
so are you moving all 4 skeletons up there?
Yeah,
Just
if
one at a
nothing
time.
interesting happens, yeah, one at a
Yeah.
time.
Give me a d20 roll. Okay.
Yep.
So you managed to get all the skeletons up there. And by the way, the runes in this room are still glowing. The ones on the pillar. The ones on
Which
the
pillar?
south pillar are not glowing, where you're bringing the skeletons from.
Oh, I see. I'm gonna ask Maldonis when he was in the room when it blew up. Did there, like, where did the fire come from? Was it from the fireplace or was it from the pillar?
Oh, it came from the fireplace.
Okay.
Like, yeah, the runes started glowing when we blew up the first skeletons. I think.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
The runes lit up when you first blew up the skeletons. That is correct, or when Riven did, which was a while ago. I think now it's been a day, right?
I think a couple.
So it
I think it's
seems
2
like
days even.
whatever happened seemed to charge this pillar pretty well, because it has continually glowed from that. But anyway, you get all these skeletons up there.
Yeah, maybe we should leave one down there just in case it's needed to enlighten the other pillar.
Don't you think the fireplace will do that trick?
I'm not sure. It
Because
seems
it's
like
in range of the fireplace blast.
barely. I don't know how much is needed.
And otherwise, we can just cast some fire magic at it, I'm assuming.
Give me an Arcana check, if you have Arcana proficiency and saw the explosion.
That ribbon for sure.
So
Felt it.
Riven, being right at the front of the blast, do you think the arcane magics from the skeletons that exploded outward were absorbed by the pillar, not the fire?
Okay.
Yeah, then we should probably leave one down there.
Well, if
Can
you're
I
gonna
move
use
it all the way back?
if you're gonna use it in a
Yeah.
second place, another place to trap as a trap, yeah, leave the skeletons in there. If you're
No, I
not,
want the option to enable the other pillar.
You figure it would take all 4 to charge it, or would one be enough, Riven?
well, no, because it just charged with that one that we just set off as well, and that had no skeletons in it when we killed those people. So I don't think it matters. I just think the skeletons.
Well, you would
Charged up
believe,
front, so basically.
you would think that the more skeletons that blew up on the pillar, the more it would charge it. You don't think there's levels, but you think how long it stays charged might depend on how many skeletons release the energy near it.
I see.
Long-
Well, if we
longer
need
it's
it for
charged.
something. Sorry, you go.
No, carry on. That was literally it.
Oh yeah, if we need it charged, it should be just for
Well,
like one time.
I
if we
don't
do
know.
Need it, so
I'm not sure if this group figured out what the pillars do yet.
Nope.
You know,
No,
there's
we did
the fireplace puzzles, and you know I think you would have noticed that when you lit up one pillar, half of the doorway down here started glowing.
That bit
We
we
did
did not.
not know that.
Yes,
We
we
did.
did.
Yeah,
'Cause
we do.
Also,
we knew.
half of this
Yeah,
here lit up. How do I
Yeah,
ping?
and half
So
of this over here, one of the runes on the wall there lit up. So it does seem like you're not sure what they do, but the pillars do seem to power certain things in this place when they're powered.
Do you want to just explode one skeleton right now, rather than just leaving it there?
see what it does.
Do we not just
You
Uh,
want to
know what
focus
it
on the
does?
task
I
at hand
lived through it.
before we got to fight more undead and stuff like that?
This is
Like,
very
if so,
shiny group. Ooh, shiny.
Yeah. I was just wondering. I actually think we should just go ahead and send Meldonis out sooner rather than later.
exactly,
always
I don't
wondered
think we can afford. Like, let's say something does happen, and we gotta fight more
Yeah.
stuff, or the place caves in and we're damaged. We need to wait even longer. I don't think we can afford to dilly dally.
I
You always
still want to
wonder
leave
that
one
time.
skeleton down there.
Exactly, we definitely
for the
leave one if
option.
we think it might open something, because there's loot behind it,
Come
and I
back in.
fucking know
We
it.
can come back and deal with all this shiny magic shit after we've killed Blackwater. Or
Exactly.
doesn't matter.
But if the door opens when it's lit up, somebody should be there when the door opens.
The door won't open; it'll just light up.
The door will open when we explode the one skeleton in the
the
other
other
room
room.
again. Exactly.
Okay, let's kill some people.
Allegedly.
Let's
Yeah,
let's go.
Let's
Yeah,
move one of these skeletons out. Make sure that we keep one in the reserve to charge the other beacon or pillar, whatever.
Alright, so Tal takes some time to float a skeleton back.
Meanwhile, I guess that Mildonis is taking a short rest.
Yes.
Yeah, we could say the group is short resting during this time as well. So, give me a d20 roll again. Alright. So nothing shows up, at least for now. This place seems to be fairly clear of the undead. An hour would pass, so go ahead and spend a short rest if you want to benefit from it. It's now
In that hour,
2:30.
So, in the hour, I'm going to telepathic speech to Lyra.
Who's
Yeah,
sitting
I
right
just wanna
next to you?
Yeah, but she can't speak back because she's gagged, and I don't want her to speak back because she could cast a spell.
And she's in the spider room, right? It looks like she's in the fireplace room.
Did
still.
you want to move her to the spider room?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
moved her
okay.
to the spider room. I carried her there.
Alright.
Okay.
Sure, she's in
Yeah.
the spider room.
And
And I'll-
if we're short resting, I'm gonna search for a spell book and just
How did you
Read
tie
through
her
it.
up, just out of curiosity?
I had a hempen rope.
I mean, like, how is she tied? Like, her hands or her body, her legs? Like, how are you tying
Oh,
her?
she's hardcore hog tied.
Okay. So she is sitting down with ropes all around. What are you saying to
Kinky.
her, Riven?
I just want to ask her what it would take. What does she want? What does she want to hear? But she doesn't trust Blackwater. Oh god, I'm gonna. Okay. She doesn't trust Blackwater at all. Well, not at all, but she doesn't trust Blackwater. That's the sense I got from when I read her mind. So I'm kind of just playing on that fact of she knows there's something fishy about him, and that with me being captured and enslaved and them freeing me, they're not bad, and Blackwater's trying to be a greedy, self-centered git, in a way, is what I'm trying to do. Trying to convince her we're nice.
Give me a persuasion at disadvantage.
Okay. So it's just, persuasion. Oh.
She just wouldn't answer you. She's just sitting there quietly.
I wanna leaf through a spell book to get an idea of what she's capable of.
Alright, so you actually haven't looked in her backpack yet. Do you want to search her?
I mean, I'm only interested in the spell book, really.
Scotty will be
I'll-
taking any worthwhile possessions that she might possess.
So she doesn't actually have a spellbook on her if you search her. She would have food and money, but apparently she didn't bring her spellbook here.
Interesting.
How much money exactly for notary purposes? Yes.
Alright, so if you take her gold pouch, there are 65 gold pieces.
Welcome to the party fund.
Ooh, did I see this happen?
Well, right now I think, I guess Scurry was
Probably
in
in the
there.
main
I
room.
guess you all saw it, since we'll just assume the group's together.
Dude, you're not really
I'm
showing our
gonna.
best colors right now.
I mean,
Fair
I don't think it
enough.
really matters too
Can you
much,
give
but
Lyra her gold back?
Wait, what? Are you giving her gold back?
I'm gonna ask you nicely. Give Lyra her gold back. We're not really making the best of impressions right now, and this is the last thing you need to be doing.
Fair enough. I'll put back half. Pretending it's all of it.
Oh,
I'll slide a hand if I have to.
You probably would have to sleight a hand if you're trying to steal half of it. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So you palm a little pile of gold and put her pouch back. She seems pretty upset. She's just sitting there.
Now listen, Lyra. People are gonna get hurt, but you don't have to. So you're gonna sit here. We're gonna bring some people more down. They're going to die, and then the man that we all know you don't trust is going to be taken care of, and then you'll be truly free to drink all the fancy, crappy, not beer drinks you want with me.
All right.
You willing to hang tight, or are you going to be a problem?
What does she say into my head? 'Cause I've still got the
She's still
telepathic
gagged.
connection.
Yeah, she's gagged, so she would just
She can
look up.
nod.
She would just look up at you, then kind of look away.
Does she say anything mentally that I can hear? I'm still telepathically connected.
Well, she has to willingly talk to you, and she doesn't seem like she wants to talk right now. I mean,
Alright,
you
so I'm gonna
figure
say
you did just try to, you did just stab her. I mean, your group did attack her, so she's probably, if she is
going to say,
or go ahead.
I'm going to say to her then, look, if you don't want more of the people you've come to know and like from Blackwater's Mansion to die, and for us to kill them because we don't want to, because we need to get the Blackwater, wait, tell us the best way to get that fucking ring off his finger and to save it so that people that you like don't have to die.
Give me a persuasion check.
And I'll take the gag off of her mouth so she can answer.
No, I said it all mentally.
That was in her head, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right.
Fuck.
She doesn't say anything. She just continues to sit there.
Then I'm going to say to her, fine then, everybody who dies from this point on is not just on us, it's also on you, because you wouldn't help. And then I'm going to walk out the
This
room.
group's going full supervillain.
Wow.
It's your
Yeah.
fault everyone's gonna die.
Yeah,
I can't react to this because it's in their fucking heads.
Yeah.
yeah.
right?
And I thought I was evil.
Alright.
Revenge
Yeah,
from
she doesn't seem to respond. She just kind of sits there and maybe sighs.
Is there any visible emotional reaction?
You could probably see that she. Well, give me an insight.
Alright. Watch me go fucking bad on this as well. Yes! No, I'm good.
So she seems very upset. She's maybe not tearing. She's not tearing up. It's not obvious, but you could tell like she's pretty perturbed when you said you're gonna kill a bunch of people she knows. As I'm
about to walk out of you, I'm going to turn around and say to her, and by the way, after we've killed them all and we've got what we want, I am taking you through this way, so you have to see everybody who we've killed because you won't help.
What the fuck, Riven? Wait, did you say that out
Jesus
loud?
No.
Christ,
No,
when
this-
did you change
I
a life?
wish I could
Fucking
respond.
true evil.
Oh, I love this.
No, because I'm actually trying to save people's lives. I'm just trying to guilt trip her into it because she's not fucking helping.
Give me a bluff check. her deception, I guess.
What's bluff? I don't think it's on
Oh
it.
wait, are you bluffing or are you like?
Yes and no, because if she doesn't,
All right, wait. I thought you just said you were doing this to try to save.
no, no, no. I'm
That's
trying to intimidate
intimidation
her
right
into
there.
doing it. But if she doesn't help us, I am actually going to drag her through and show her all the dead people.
All
So I
right, I
don't know what
guess.
that.
I guess intimidation. Then you could do
Right. Okay.
intimidation.
Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
I am
So,
being really stupid.
Hey guys, let's stop antagonizing her. We're not
she
here
would.
to do that.
Well, you don't know this is happening, but she would in
No,
Oh,
her
I'm
is it
doing
in
head,
it.
your mind?
in
Oh,
your
like
in
it.
your mind, Riven, she would say,
Yeah.
"Please just leave me alone," and she would look away from you.
She probably knows Riven's too small to drag her.
You gotta
Sorry.
go. Poke, poke, poke.
No, I
Evil.
can shrink her. I can shrink her.
That's true. Put her in your
Shrink
pocket.
her and then
All
move
right.
her. Oh my
So-
Oh
god.
God.
Anyway,
Yes.
moving on.
I love
So-
it.
Before we leave, I will say one thing to her. And I'm gonna say that we're sorry, and I wish we could have given you more time to find out the truth. But yeah, sorry again.
All right.
I know it doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you could roll a persuasion, I guess, for that if you want.
I'll just roll persuasion to seem.
Right. Yeah, she just seems like she's kind of wanting to be left alone at this point. She seems pretty distraught. I mean, she just saw
We did
all
put her in a
You
same
put-
room as the mangled
yeah.
corpses of her peers.
of her, the people she
And
was
she's in the
studying
room
with.
with them anyway. And she's in the room with their dead bodies as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So she just seems pretty like distraught right now. She doesn't seem like she is gonna talk.
Alright, well.
So the group did their rest. The room's kind of cleaned up. What do you want to do?
Let's send Meldonis out.
Well, do you want me to just bring Blackwater down? Because if I do that, we don't really have to kill other people.
I mean, if you think you could, but I doubt he'd come down here.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can
we
think
could
of
even get a
something.
beer.
That would be ideal.
It would be
But-
ideal, but don't do anything too risky. And if you're gone for more than, I'm gonna ask him how long did it take for him to get here, or how long does he think it would take walking? like
So with a map, if you knew the tunnels, it takes about half an hour to get from Blackwater's mansion to this place. If you are just kind of navigating off memory or with survival, it usually takes 45 minutes to an hour.
Did
Also,
Lyra's bag-
the tunnels coming here are still dangerous. There are undead that occasionally show up, so it's not really a safe journey to make alone.
Meldonis has the map.
Could we copy it? Maybe. Does anyone have any paper?
Yeah, that's right. You do have a map, don't you, Meldonis?
Yeah, or at least I'm pretty sure Lyra does.
Yes, Lyra would have the map, so I'd say you found it in her backpack. So if you want to spend a piece of paper, you could make yourself a map.
Ooh.
We could spend one of her papers.
I
Yeah, I guess that's true. She probably does have some paper if you want to use hers.
okay.
Pretty sure Tal copied it over in one of the pages in the spellbook and ripped it out, right?
You
that happened.
probably don't want to use spellbook pages for that because those are specially made to hold spells, and spellbooks are more expensive than normal paper.
I copied something, but I don't remember what it was. Maybe
I
have
thought it
to
was
go
a
through it.
formula that you copied.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, it was the formula, that's right. Yeah, never mind. Remember that wrong.
Yeah.
Do you have to
So if
do
you
intelligence
do,
check to make the map copy?
no, I'll say that. I mean, it'll just take some time, but as long as you have a piece of paper and ink, you could copy the map she has. And if you want, you could take her paper. I mean, you haven't really robbed her yet. Like, you kind of look through her
Yeah.
stuff, but I mean, you took half her gold, but she didn't really see. But yeah, you haven't taken any of her supplies yet. So if you want, you could take
I
some of her
vote
paper.
we actually don't, because that's demeaning.
Yeah, I can sacrifice
I
a
agree.
page of my spellbook.
All right, so you're gonna you're gonna rip a page out of your spell book.
Yeah.
We draw the lines at weird places. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's about the feelings. I'm trying to make myself not feel guilty.
How?
I'll
To draw the line much earlier, but I was overruled.
I might be able to rip it out of her head.
What were you? Wait, what?
What the fuck? I'm just gonna.
I was about to say.
Like-
did you say something, Maldonis? I feel like we. cut
yeah,
you
yeah.
off.
I'm gonna just get the map from her so we can just copy it down.
All right. Yeah, sure. You could take it off of her.
I'm gonna performance check the most disgusted face I can muster. Oh fuck.
All right. So you get the map. Again, she doesn't really respond. Tal, you rip a page out of your spell book. How many pages do you have left anyway?
How many pages does it have to begin with?
It starts with. Okay, let me look this up really quick. I want to say it's 50.
I think it was. We went over this before. When
Then I
we had
have
to use
like,
the page for the. Can't you just rip the one out that you
100
wrote the
pages.
formula on?
Okay,
Yeah, so
Leatherbound
I'm at-
Tome, 100 pages. And each spell.
so I'm at
Go ahead.
94 or something.
Well, each spell takes 1 page per level of the spell.
Yeah, and I'm only a level 1 wizard, so I have
That's
like
right,
6
because you're
spells.
multi-class. Okay. All right, so you spend a page to rip out a page from the book, and you copy the map. So you now have a map from the halls of Tarsus to Blackwater's estate, if you want to write that down in your inventory.
Yeah, like who wants the map actually? I give it to Nello.
All right. I'll put it in my inventory.
All right, so what do you want to do? You have the map. You've cleaned up the area. Are you gonna go back with Maldonis to safely get him through the caves, or do you want to risk him going alone? Or the tunnels, not caves.
I think I want to go like 3/4 of the way. That would be okay. If maybe like someone else would come with me. We can go 3/4 and then go back.
Yeah,
Alright, so-
We don't want to.
Escort him kind of close to the area, but let him go the rest of the way on his own.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. So, we'll change
Why
areas.
don't we all go and then tail behind them as they walk in and get blown up,
Ooh, that would be
and
difficult.
then
I
follow
think.
them in?
I think we have to set off the explosion, probably.
Yeah, we'd have to
I
set
don't
the
think
explosion.
that's a very good idea.
And I hate to bring it up again, but I can't get past the star.
Well, good luck here then.
You could stay with Lyra. And keep,
Yes, I'll stay with
you
Lyra.
keep
I would
torturing
like-
her some more.
And can we keep
Well-
someone with them so that our little
Going
fairy
to
doesn't
kill
end
her,
up?
I promise.
Your friend's death is your fault.
Alright, well, how about I
Maybe
will
I should
follow
go-
Maldonis because 1, I'm very quick. 2, I can sneak like a motherfucker. So what I'll do is I'll stay relatively close to Maldonis. When he reaches the end of Blackwater's mansion, I will sprint back to here. I'll beat them all because I'm way quicker. And that way I'll be able to give you guys notice of how it went. Because I can see him come down. And he'll be safe because worst case scenario, I drag him out.
Wait,
Away
Raven,
from
Okay.
any danger.
didn't you say you could use the bag of holding to get past the star?
I never said.
It
Someone
was
said, "Isn't
it was
this a good
nice. I
idea?"
said we could try it, and we didn't do it because we were afraid that we'd have to get back in to go back if there was danger. So we never actually did
And, we,
it. But
and they went into that giant skeleton thing, which nearly killed everyone. I was
Yeah.
right.
Well, I mean,
It
at
would-
this point, you could probably go past, though, right? I mean, technically,
Yeah.
well, anyway, or however you all want to do it. The biggest issue is if you do hit a random encounter in those tunnels, like there would only be the two of you to fight.
Maybe I should go because they know me.
Eh,
um,
I,
I don't
that-
think
yeah.
they don't know that anyone else is down here, though.
They know I've been down here before.
Yes, but they don't know that you're currently down here.
Exactly.
And if they find out
I'm
that you are
sneaky enough to
currently
hide
down here,
myself, and I can get both of us out of there because we're quick enough together.
Well, what if something kills Meldonis?
It
Well, then
won't
I
because
die.
I'll be able to drag him out of there.
All right, go. I'm gonna go talk to Lyra
All
now.
right.
Have
Well,
fun.
All right.
you guys go. If you're not back in an hour, we'll come after you. And after Scurry gets back, I think if Meldonis is not back in an hour and 30 minutes, then we'll come after him potentially. Unless you don't want that. What do you think,
Also-
Meldonis? If you're not back in an hour and 30 minutes, what should we do?
I mean, that's fine. That's
Coming after you?
that's plenty of time for me
Because
to.
Blackwater
convince
might
him.
not let you back out into the caves. So, did you want us to storm his mansion if that happens, or should we call it off if you don't come back in an hour and 30?
If he doesn't come back, I think we'll have to full send it.
Might as well.
We'll full send it. Especially if you've caught yourself up into trouble or something. You like Zone of Truths you or something else. Who knows what could be going on.
Oh, Zone of Truth is nothing.
All right. So Scurry and Meldonis are traveling through the tunnels to get back to Blackwater's estate.
Casting enhance ability for charisma on Meldonis before he leaves.
All right.
And I'm actually gonna hand over my never mind, it's fine. I won't.
All right. So you begin traveling. I need a d20 roll for events as you move through the tunnels of the barrows. All right. So as you're heading north through one of the passages, you hear what sounds like a hissing noise coming from one of the eastern areas. Almost like a flame of some kind hissing. Or steam, maybe? It's hard to say. But it's close by. What do you want to do?
Is it somewhere that we have to go?
No. It's completely off to the side.
Then keep
Let's
moving.
keep
Fuck
going.
it.
Let's not get distracted.
Alright. I will mark it down in case you become interested later.
The sound of loot will have to wait.
Okay. So you continue moving through the caves. Oh, that's a little too big. And you do actually make it back, reaching Blackwater's estate. There are a bunch of his mercenaries in the tunnels behind the gate. As you approach, they kind of level their crossbows and say, "Stop! Who's there?"
I would not be visible at this stage. If we're approaching, I am staying in the tunnels
How
and
far
letting
back are
Meldonis
you?
go alone. I'm assuming that we'd know when we're pulling up, so I just wouldn't
It'd be
even
like-
be in field of view.
3/4, I thought.
All right, so you're gonna be back in the tunnel, like way out of sight.
Yeah, like from what I'm seeing here, probably right around this corner here.
Yeah, I mean that's not a completely accurate
Yeah,
tunnel drawing, but
you
yeah,
get the
sure.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So Meldonis is the only one there, and
Mhm.
yeah, they would say, "Who goes there?"
Oh, it's just me, Meldonis.
Where are the rest of you? Is Lyra?
They're still back at the halls of Tarsus. I need to speak with Lord Blackwater. It's quite urgent.
All right, give me a deception check. He nods. He says, "It's a dangerous journey through the tunnels alone. You got some courage on you," and he lets you through. So you're heading
I'll,
upstairs into the main area, I assume. I mean,
Lyra's still alive.
it's not technically a lie, but sort of a lie. All right, but yeah, you go up to the main estate where you see a bunch of the mercenaries at work. You don't see Blackwater. What do you want to do?
I'll go up to one of the mercenaries. Excuse me.
He turns around. He says, "Ah, Meldonis. What can I do for you?"
You know where Lord Blackwater is? Must speak to him. It's quite urgent.
I thought he was here. One of the other mercenaries says, "I think he had a meeting with the mayor about something." Says, "Oh, yep, that's probably where he is then, over at the barracks."
All right. Well, thank you.
Says, "Yeah, no problem."
I'll head. He said the barracks.
Yeah, so the town hall is sort of a renovated old structure from the dwarven days that survived the cataclysm. It's a very old building.
Okay.
There are a couple of
Okay.
them in town. The barracks and the four towers on the different gates are all old structures.
I will head out kind of quickly.
Okay.
Oh, actually, did I already told Alira not to be here, right?
I
Yes, you
think
did.
You
so.
did,
Yeah, I kind of
Okay.
remember that. So I think she stepped out for the time being.
All right. Then I will head over to the barracks.
All right, so you go through town, heading over to the barracks. At this point, it's probably about 3:20. So your enchantment is about to wear off. You got about 10 minutes left on it. But you make it over to the barracks. You would see there's a couple of guards guarding the front door. They would stop you and say, "What business do you have here, citizen?"
I need to speak with Lord Blackwater. Do you not know who I am?
He looks at you. He says, "I don't think I've seen you before." I think he's in a meeting with the mayor currently. Let me go check. Can I tell him what this is in regards to?
Tell him Meldonis needs to talk with him.
All right.
And tell him it's urgent.
All right. So he heads in, and about 5 minutes later, he would come back out with Blackwater there. He seems a little bit annoyed. He says, "Meldonis, I'm a bit busy. What's urgent? What's going on?"
We found it,
Found what?
Lord Blackwater.
And
You're going to want to see this.
He lowers his voice a little and says, "What did you find?" And
Shall
he
we?
steps out a bit away
Yeah,
from the
I'll-
guard.
The artifact. We found it. But not... It's like a machine or something. It's massive. You must come down and check it out.
Where did you find this?
All the way in the back halls of the halls of Tarsus, there is an illusory door that we figured out was there, and once we step through, what we saw will blow your mind. You have to come down and check it out.
Give me a deception check.
I would like to use my inspiration.
You're actually at advantage now because you have 5 minutes of
sick.
Tal's spell still going.
Sick. Natural 20 for 30.
So he definitely seems intrigued. He says, "I don't need to be surprised. Describe this thing to me. What is this machine you found?"
It is something like I have never seen before. And I will describe essentially a giant orb with rings kind of orbiting it.
He says, does it look Tharian, 12th cycle? Or is it something older?
The scholars right now are trying to figure out exactly what cycle it came from. I think it might be older.
Fascinating. I wonder if it was something that the Tharian Empire found down there themselves. There are older chambers from past civilizations. Alright.
It's
You say the scholars are still down there.
Yes, they're working on it as we speak.
Alright. Show me.
All right, I will take him back to Blackwater Mansion, and then we'll go down.
Actually, one moment. He says, he turns to the guard and says, tell the mayor I shall return tomorrow that something came up and that she should go ahead with her plans for the Blood Hand. He nods and walks back in. He says, and then he kind of yells after him, the mayor will have my support in her moves. And then he turns around and says, all right, let's go.
Right this way, and I will.
Alright, so you lead him back to the mansion. Your spell is up at this point. He says, are the halls safe?
Oh, yes.
Give me a deception check.
I'm going to use my inspiration for that.
Okay.
Good thing I did.
He says, well, I guess we'll have to contend with the passages to get to the to Tarsus, so I guess I should bring some people with me. Give me a moment, Smeldonis. I need to prepare for this trip. And he would start walking upstairs.
Okay.
What about the heroes of Chaur? Are they in the area as well? I know one of them was exploring down there. I have a feeling they might be working for our enemies.
Really?
He nods. He says they've been acting very suspicious.
Huh. Well, luckily for you, I did not see them down there.
Alright. Well, I need to get a few things, and I'm going to bring some guards for protection in the halls. Get whatever you need. I'll be ready in a few minutes.
Very well.
Alright, so is there anything that you want to do while he prepares to go down there?
No, I don't really have anything.
Okay.
About how much time has passed?
It's been probably about an hour and 20 minutes or so at this point.
So Scurry's definitely back.
Yeah, was Scurry going back?
That's the plan,
I was
thought.
thinking of staying down there
Oh, okay.
close to the entrance,
I see, so
waiting for
Scurry's
them to
not
come down, and as soon as I hear them come down, scurrying away.
Okay.
Heading back.
Okay. So since it's 10 minutes, I'm going to propose that we go get the Blood Hand, who should be waiting in the hallway to the halls of Tarsus, and getting them ready to lead the assault on the mansion.
Okay. So what's the plan? Neil is there at the moment with some of his troops. It looks like Cithril had some of them in reserve, but there's not a full force here yet.
Oh, I thought they would be here. Or at least she said she would gather as many as she could. So I guess that's what we get, huh?
Yeah. So there's not actually too many there. If you want to go ask Neil about it, you can, I guess.
I'm asking Neil if this is all we have.
He says, we have some
Neil's-
people ready nearby. We wanted to keep some of our people in town just in case we needed them up there. But if we have a definite go-ahead, I can go get the rest.
Yes, please go get the rest.
He says, so we are planning to attack today?
Yes.
He nods and kind of half smiles and says, all right, I'll get everyone assembled. All right, so meanwhile, Meldonis Blackwater would have what looks like several wands at his side. And you see he's bringing a couple of people with him, look like some of the higher level mercenaries.
Okay.
He says, all right, Meldonis, lead the way.
And I will nod and head back down into the tunnels.
I'm assuming that I can hear the movement when they're starting to come down.
Yeah,
Since I'm paying
so
attention to that.
what's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 13.
Okay. So you would probably hear the iron gate open up in the distance because it makes a bit of a squeaking noise. It's not very quiet. So you could probably take that as a sign that someone's coming.
At that point, I am hurrying back. I'm using, my dashes and stuff too.
All right. Do you have a map?
I do, because we got the map.
Okay.
We got a map, and then we made another one.
All right. So I need a D20 roll to see if you make it through the halls unscathed. Okay. Alright, so Scurry. Actually, the party is back here. I'll say that Scurry and Meldonis are kind of up here. And Scurry, you would make your way quickly moving through the halls and return to the group. So Blackwater is not moving very quickly through the halls with his people. You see he has several of his more powerful mercenaries. One of the more popular clerics, or famous, I should say, famous clerics of the Church of Palor. A couple of magic users. Looks like some pretty heavily armored fighters. But yeah, he's coming through the halls with Meldonis. Are you going to say anything to him as he's traveling with you?
No, I'm gonna focus on getting them through.
Okay.
We'll ignore the strange noise.
And when Scurry came back, we don't actually know Blackwater's coming, right? We're just setting up the trap.
No, we know that Meldonis is coming with other people.
Yeah, okay.
Or that people are coming.
For whatever reason, on your way back, you don't hear the strange noise as you go past.
Oh, okay.
them.
Okay.
So
I will, once I get back, be like, alright, let's get the Bloodhound ready as well for this ambush. Not sure how many people are coming or how, well equipped they'll be, but we'll probably be able to use the help, especially if we're going to attack straight on after immediately. So let's get the Bloodhound in ready to rush in together with us once we pull the explosion off.
Yeah, I had Neil prepare people. I think they should be back right about now. Because that was like 30 minutes ago.
Okay. So Neil is getting some more people. I'll say he sent someone to go get some more people. He says, do you need us for ambushing Blackwater's party, or do you need us for the assault? Or I guess both.
Well, we're not entirely sure if Blackwater's coming. What we do know is that at the very least we'll have some of the stronger members of the Blackwater team that we're ambushing here, so we can definitely use the help. And if we don't get Blackwater in the ring now, we're assaulting the estate right after, so it's one fell swoop.
And ideally, we'd have whoever can prevent, sort of harry them, because if we ambush them, there's probably going to be a couple that try to run away or escape through the tunnels. So if we can harry them and make sure they don't get back to the Blackwater estate, it would be good so that they don't inform Blackwater that we're coming.
We can use all the help we can get on this ambush, and even if the ambush is cleared away quite easily, we're attacking the estate right after. So you'll be there regardless.
Yeah, even if there are members that don't want to participate in the ambush, if they're just right after us, ready to march on the castle, it'll be best, I think.
He nods and says, all right, fair enough. We get our people. And I need to know, where is everyone in the actual dungeon? Like, where do you want them to set up?
I'm assuming in the tunnel right here. We close the door again. Same plan as last time. Servant in the fireplace.
Neil says, do you want me to bring all my people or just myself as someone to help? He says, I think if we put a lot of people, they might be making noise. So that's my only reservation with if we're trying to hide here and not alert anyone. I think less might be good.
Less is probably good. Maybe you and
some of your strongest
anyone
men
else.
then probably.
Yeah, maybe your strongest. Whoever you think is most suitable for chasing them down, maybe tracking them to the tunnels, that would be good.
Just keep the rest of them a bit further back so they can't be heard, but close enough so they can join after a few seconds.
We've got a closed door, and worst case scenario, we can keep the rest of the troops in the other room, and we can signal them once we go in.
And I'm sending my unseen servant to go be in the fireplace.
Okay. Give me one moment here.
I'm curious, if you guys think that the other skeleton blowing up may open the passageway, we could send some people into the other room to blow up the skeleton and run through, maybe if it works, but it would be a gamble.
Let's leave the passageway for after this Blackwater business is done.
Those doors lead to the vault, and there was a clear warning about the vault.
So
yeah, that's not done.
Neil brings two people with him. He says, "These are my lieutenants. They can keep quiet. The rest are just thugs. I don't think we want to bring them in for a big fight.
All right.
They're better as
trust
foot
you, gentlemen.
soldiers. And we should have more people coming. But if one of them has some kind of fire spell or AOE spell, it could clear a large number of my troops. So I'd rather keep them out of that type of situation."
Yeah, small fry will only clog up the battlefield at this stage. It's good thinking.
He nods. Alright, so he brings his 3 people. We have Scurry and Tal up front there. Lyra is kind of struggling a little at this point. Looks like she's like making some noise as she's moving around. Could be a problem.
So I have been with Lyra this whole time. I just because I got mad and I walked off and went back to be with Lyra. So I've been talking with Lyra or trying to talk to, I've just been with her this whole time, trying to be there and see what was going on with her.
So at this point, she's probably not gonna be very talkative still.
I'm gonna ask Tal. Hey Tal, is it possible to communicate mentally without the use of a spell?
Oh, Meldonis is
there's no.
Right now.
I'm talking to Tal.
I think some people can. I definitely can't.
Do you think it's possible that Lyra could maybe alert Blackwater without casting a spell?
Neil would say, wait, you took one of their people hostage? Why didn't you just kill them?
Well, we have our own peculiarities as a group, and one of our members is really deeply attached to her, so...
She's hog-tied, gagged, and she's in a different room. I doubt she'd be able to contact him, even if she tried. If she could, she would have done it already, and we wouldn't be in this situation, so I think we'll be fine.
It could be might be a range issue.
Yeah, I think we should maybe move her further back into the tunnels.
He says, well, she is making noise. I think you should move her back or silence her.
Alright, well, we'll drop it off with the rest of your noisy thugs to keep an eye on her, I guess, then.
He says, why don't you, if you give her to me, I can send her back to the base and we can just imprison her there.
Alright, sounds like a plan.
No.
Just for now, Mia. Alright?
No.
We'll pick her up immediately after we're done.
Alright,
I
so
promise. I'll even pay for your drink after.
A couple of burly thugs come in, kind of picking her up, like throw her over their shoulders.
No. No. No one takes her.
They
Mia, if you want to bring her back, that's...
Neil
that's
says,
fine.
what do you mean? She's making too much noise. We can't have her jeopardize this. Just get her out of here. She'll be fine. We'll just take her back to the base.
If anything happens to her, I will hunt you down and skin you for a rug.
He says, don't do anything to her. Just put her in the jail. And the thugs just kind of nod. He says, there.
Maybe give her some fancy wine or something. She likes that.
I'm gonna tell them.
Give me a
I'm gonna tell them
persuasion
not.
check.
I'm gonna tell them not to take the gag out of her mouth because then she can cast the spell.
Oh, you left a spellcaster alive. Jeez, you guys are looking for something bad to happen. All right, like I said, we'll just take her back to the prison. She should be fine.
I'll be back for you as soon as I can, Lyra.
As they take her, I'm gonna say telepathically to her, remember, everybody who dies from this point on is on your head.
Riven, what's your alignment?
Gaslighting the crap out of her.
I love it.
This is all your fault. You made me do this to you.
when he does that, like, is there like a tell? Like, does he have an incantation? I'm assuming it's a cantrip.
No, he's just being a weird, like, mental.
Lyra's gonna be friendly with the party, alright? It's called Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, seriously. You don't like me.
It's all your fault.
This is all your fault.
You have to atone for your sins.
Alright, so they pull Lyra out of there. She seems to be getting more and more upset as Riven like stares at her. It's really weird.
I'm not staring at her. I keep glancing every 3 minutes.
Glancing and shaking your head.
Maybe I should go with her.
No, we definitely need you in this fight, Mia. We need you here.
Yeah, we need you. We could die if you're not here.
A lot of people are gonna die if she dies.
And she won't.
Neil
Or I'll help you kill him.
Neil says, what is she to you? Is she like your girlfriend or something?
She's just awesome.
I was just gonna say to Neil, don't ask. It's really, really fucking weird.
He shrugs. He says, well, she'll be fine. Don't worry. We have no reason to kill her unless she tries something. And he walks back
I don't think
up.
she will. She's
You can't
pretty
kill her
defeated.
even if she tries something. She's a tryer. She's a doer, you know?
Mia, it will be alright. It's gonna be okay. Now let's focus our mind on the killing that you're about to do.
Alright, I'll kill a person. Let's go.
Oh, I so close up to the front. That's a fucking bad idea.
All right, so let's take a 5-minute break before Meldonis gets back here, and do some restrooms and everything, because we're about the halfway point. Yeah, pee time.
All right.
All right, I'll be back.
Jesus.
I am so sorry.
The thing is, like, I always play my characters, especially the chaotic neutral ones, at least they start out that way, very flip-floppy depending on what the party does. Like, I've had chaotic neutral characters just be, like, pretty much lawful good because the party is that way, but, like, bad influence, it's very easy to flop the other way as well. Scurry is completely down for some fucked up shenanigans, should that be the case. Like, he won't go around killing people for the fun of it. Like, he won't ever. I don't.
Yeah, no. That same with Nalo. Nalo's just true neutral. He doesn't really care too much, but he is sort of like he knows that things catch up.
Yeah, Riven is just chaotic neutral.
Yeah. Scurry
It
won't do
literally-
bad things for the sake of doing bad things, but if it's the easiest way to accomplish what he wants to accomplish, then yeah.
It's weird because I imagine Riven's kind of this thing, like a Fae thing. They don't, in my head, as a Fae thing, they don't do good or evil because it's down to perspective. It's more like if they're lawful or chaotic, and he's just very chaotic. But
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. I think because of being Fae, they don't. To me, at least, they don't get good or evil because it's not a concept they have. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what doesn't matter to me when I'm just like kill him. And they're just like
Same
"Why?"
with
It's like,
trigonometry. Fairies don't understand.
no, we're very bad. We're very bad with figures. We're very good with plants. But yeah, no.
Oh no, Mia's becoming conscious. She's starting to
Someone-
think.
Someone
Oh,
find
no.
her another pretty. Someone find her another fucking pretty face.
This woman is just as good as your last one, I promise.
I don't know. We don't go to meetings. We're the bad guys. No, no.
Oh wait, I had what is it? Wait. I had a thing on my phone.
We're not the bad guys, Mia. We just do what other people aren't necessarily prepared to do. For the good of everyone in general.
I can totally see just Scurry at like the end of this all. He's like, "Yeah, you thought I was part of your group, but actually no. This party treasury, all mine, just disappears."
Steals.
You know what I find with it?
Like honestly,
It's
Scurry is fair. What's that? What's the show called again? The one John Cena's the superhero thing.
Suicide Squad? Or
No.
No, no. I know what you're on about.
it's
nobody.
Peacemaker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's for peace. No matter how many men, women, or children have to kill to get it. Yeah. Except instead of peace, it's money. What? Because people like Blackwater are never good. I don't think a single person would be able to say with good conscience that Blackwater is a good person,
I mean,
unless all they know about him is that he's spending money on the town.
I feel like Blackwater's just a true neutral. I think he just
I think Blackwater's a money grabbing noble, and just wants power.
that's what neutral means.
Yeah, he
Well,
just didn't think of the consequences.
As far as Scotty is concerned, all nobles are evil. At least the ones like Blackwater.
What ones with money?
So, not out of character. If we ever find Blackwater, we killing him? We trying to kill him?
Scurry is, if you guys don't stop him.
If you don't kill him, Meldonis will.
Riven couldn't give a shit.
Oh yeah, I promised Maldonis he could do it, right? Yeah, I think so.
What do you think? What do you think, Tal? Tal's
think-
over here, just like a vein bulging in his
Yeah.
forehead.
I was having a mental breakdown between his
I
gods.
don't think it's
I was like,
too bad of
what
a
about
tragedy
that?
if he dies.
That was like in a massive philosophical and emotional and moral dilemma because he's just like, I like these people, but they're fucking evil.
What?
Questioning your faith is a key part of faith in general.
I can just imagine Tal. He's like thinking back to the time where he was like granted the highest status in his order, and like the priest dude that was his fatherly figure was like, "I know you're gonna do a lot of good for the world," and then like flash forward to him murdering people in a dungeon.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really bad? What I really want Riven to do is to telepathically speak to Tao, but to fake the voice to sound like his god. And just be like, no, kill the people! Kill the people!
Yeah,
They have
like,
transgressed. You are the new Noah.
You're gonna get.
yeah, after some time I will just give up on civilization and join Asmodeus to start
Yeah,
the
this
murder
is how fallen clerics happen. This right here.
Lives in a hovel in the woods. He's given up on civilization. It's just like, leave me be.
Tal becomes an evil sorcerer, and Riven becomes his like minion.
What? That wouldn't fucking happen.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna have a choice. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I'm actually worried
Yeah.
now that you can use that actually tricked me into it.
Riven is small enough he can be Tal's familiar.
You can't comment. You're not. I'm taller than you.
Really? Oh, probably actually.
I'm 3'8".
Oh yeah, you definitely taller than me. Holy shit. You know what, Riven, or I mean Tal, I'll be your familiar if you want.
Oh man.
All right, are we all ready to continue?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
After this, I'm gonna go kill Mia's girlfriend.
So there are. Blackwater is with you, along with 6 other people. By the way, just to give you an idea, he didn't bring too many with him, but they are cautiously moving through the tunnels. I need a D20 roll from Maldonis to see if they get through okay. Oh.
I hope that's good.
So, while moving through the tunnels, you would actually find an old chest off to the side. You would notice. Looks like it hadn't been found yet. It doesn't seem like Blackwater or his people noticed it. Or actually, what's your perception? Passive.
13.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like Blackwater and his people have noticed it. You're kind of walking down one of the final hallways. I don't know if you want to do anything about it, or if you just want to.
Just came back. Noticed what?
No, this was for Maldonis.
I will. Is it like off to the side?
Yeah, so you're sort of walking down one of the last hallways as you're approaching the halls of Tarsus, and down a side hallway there's a small cave-in, and you would notice some metal glinting from under the rocks, which you believe is a chest of some kind. You don't think you've noticed it before as you've been walking these halls?
I will like reach into my bag, pull out a little bit of ink, and just put it on my finger and like mark on the map.
Okay, so you make a little mark on your map that there's something here.
Yeah.
All right.
And we will continue on.
Let me mark that. Okay, so you continue on through the darkness. Oh, and actually, while I'm thinking about it, a strange noise would also be on the map layer. Okay, so you get to the halls of Tarsus along with the people. Blackwater says, now this machine, tell me more about it. Is there anything we have to be wary of as we approach?
Not that I know of. Like I said, the scholars down there are doing more research on it. As soon as we found it, I left to go get you.
He nods.
Just real quick, this door here is closed, right?
Yeah.
We did close it.
I can close it. That's fine.
Zonky.
So... Blackwater comes through the open vault doors along with Maldonis. There's Maldonis. Along with him and Blackwater's group, who are currently in front. And I'll say they probably have torches, because there's no reason they wouldn't. There's the torch. There's the torch. So Blackwater sort of looks around. He says, "This must be the halls. I recognize the architecture." All right, Meldonis, where are we going?
And I'll move up to the front of the group, kind of ushering him to come with me. This way, if you wouldn't mind.
All right, so he is going to stay back behind his people, but they would move forward with you.
Okay.
The priest looks around and he says, "It pains me to see the desecration done to this holy site. Though I am not a follower of Moradin, I am familiar with the history of the halls of Tarsus and what happened here. The attacks of the followers of Orcus and their vile plans for this place. These priests must have fought as hard as they could have to keep the evil at bay."
I'm sure they did their best. Watch your step.
So as you're approaching, the wizard kind of motions everyone to wait. He takes a look at the star. He says, "Protection magic, probably to keep outsiders at bay." "Do you think they came in with demons?" Blackwater shrugs. "It's likely," the priest says. Actually, let me give you some pictures of these guys, 'cause I don't think you've met them before.
See the faces of the men who are about to
gonna
die.
Guilt trip from the DM.
I don't
You
care.
who are about to die, we salute you.
Exactly. Honored dead.
This is what they look like. They had 5 children, 2 wives.
So
Two lives. Holy.
the priest is a fairly heavily armored priest of Palor. Father Gregory Duval, who, unless you have religion, you probably wouldn't know too much about him.
No.
There's Blackwater, of course. And there is a wizard with them. Yeah, I won't show you the lesser soldiers. I'll just show you the higher level guys. So that's okay. You can kind of see the wizard on the token.
Right.
So he looks at it for a minute. He says, "This should be safe to cross, assuming none of you are demons in disguise."
It is quite safe. We've crossed it already.
So Blackwater would step forward and say, "There is always a chance there are secondary effects from it. I think it would be wiser to dispel it just to be sure." The wizard seems a bit surprised but nods. And he is going to step forward and cast Dispel Magic, which I'm just going to roll for manually because I don't have a macro set up. Yep. So he spends the spell and poof, the star is destroyed. Winks out. This is alright. Everything should be safe now, or safer. As I said, I don't think that was actually a problem, but he says, you never know. So the warrior and the guards kind of step up at this point. They say, "We're entering the dungeon proper, sir. You should probably stay behind us." He says, "I think I'll be fine." Where is the machine, Maldonis?
We keep going. It's further down. If you wouldn't mind coming this way, around here. I kind of usher him this way. around. And then when they get kind of close to the fireplace, I'll kind of
So-
like motion them for them to hold up and.
So it doesn't look like they're all going towards the fireplace. At this point, they're following you.
Yeah, I went around, like slowly with them, so they would follow me, like follow where I went.
All right. So you kind of walk up to the fireplace and take like the long way around the room.
Yes.
Give me a deception check.
Cool.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, so you walk around. Some of the soldiers kind of come this way, checking out the pot and looking for danger. Some of them follow you.
I will look to the one that's like looking at the pot. Excuse me. Please stay with the rest of the group.
He looks to you. He says, "I'm checking the room for danger." Is there a reason
Yes.
we have to stay that close to you?
No, just follow the path that I take.
And he says, also, what are these skeletons doing here?
I'm not entirely sure, but they've haven't really been doing anything since we came in, so we left them be.
The priest says they're undead. They should be banished.
Well, we can take care of that afterwards. I
Give me
will-
a persuasion check. Looks like the priest really wants to get rid of these things. Oh. The priest would say, or we could just take care of that now, and he is going to use Turn Undead.
Of course.
Do we hear that they're in the room by now? Can we tell that through the door?
Yeah, you hear them walking around in there.
Can we blow it?
Well, he just used... I assumed you were waiting for the fireplace. So that's what I assumed you were waiting for, to hear the explosion.
I was waiting for them to get into the room to blow it.
Yeah, that's what I've been waiting sort of for a tell that they were in, and then like maybe 15 seconds after blowing it up, or maybe 20.
I mean, I figured with the cleric talking about turning undead, the skeletons in the room, that would be because he's on
Alright.
like one side and I'm on the other, so he would have to talk kind of decently loudly.
So you are having, at this point, you're going to have your creature blow it.
Sure, yes. I'll tell my unseen servant to press buttons.
Beep, boop, boop. Alright, so there is a sudden eruption of fire from the fireplace, and they have to
And-
make saving throws.
I would like to dive.
Well,
Also,
hang on.
can I... Okay.
It looks like, unfortunately, Maldonis is still in the radius, so you do have to make a saving throw. 20 feet, so you're just at the edge there. So it would be a dex save, and unfortunately, the skeletons are going to blow up too, which is kind of why I thought you were waiting a bit to do this. But so I'll start with the fireplace. There's an explosion of flame in the 20-foot radius like before. So Maldonis, I need a dex save from you. Let me get the
Okay.
wizard here.
Please roll high. Okay.
Okay. Do you have a +4 or is it 16?
It should just be 16. I don't know why
The bless wore off, I think.
guidance is on.
Yeah.
Let me roll that again to make sure.
Well, it's
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
You can use the 16. I'm not sure what's going
Yeah,
on there.
I just wanted to make sure that the guidance was on because I think. Oh, it's got bless.
Alright, so the Mind Mage would fail, but as a reaction, I think he's going to cast Resist Elements, or whatever it's called.
Counterspell.
Alright, so you are using a counter spell. That would counter it, so let's see. So it would be 14 damage, so you took 7, he took 14 because he took full damage. This is a torch. So this guy here, he made it, so he takes 7 and looks very wounded. Ah, what the? The gladiator here, the big fighter, he's gonna try to make it. Dex save. 15 would make it, so he takes 7 as he puts his shield up and a bunch of flames go around him. This cleric, Father Duval, does a dex save. Yeah, he would make it, so he takes 7. What is this? Blackwater's not in range, but the skeletons will explode. So this one first blows up. Meldonis, I need another dex save. This guy's dead. The mage.
13.
Alright, so you would not make that one. So the skeleton explodes, for 20.
I am very unconscious.
So Meldonis goes down. This guy here is going to try to make his dex save.
You only had 27 HP.
Yeah,
You did add the 10 max HP.
I
right,
wasn't
that we
there
got?
when I was not there when you cast aid because I was at Blackwater's estate.
Yeah.
True.
Before you left.
He wasn't fully
And
healed
then-
up also.
Yes,
But you got the 10 max.
So the
You
mage...
did get a short resting. You didn't heal from that?
I did. I was
He
at
was
6 hit
Oh.
points.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
dear. Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
realize he looked so
that's
injured.
why he was asking, could we rest a little when I was pulling him. So the wizard takes the full brunt of the first skeleton, now looks wounded. Ah, gods! The cleric is gonna try to dodge that. He does not, so he takes 20. This guy is gonna try to dodge it. He does not, so he dies. This guard. This skeleton would now blow up, giving Meldonis a failure on his death save because he takes damage while he's down.
What is the radius on this one?
It was 20 feet. They're all like
Okay.
little 20-foot explosions of
Okay.
arcane force. Does the last one hit you? Yeah, it looks like 2 of them would hit you, unfortunately. So the guards are... Yeah, this guy, let's see. Yeah, he's dead. Oh, another one blows up. The wizard's badly hurt. This guy
Did
blew up.
Galen not make-
Blackwater.
Oh.
I'm still... There's
Gotcha.
There's like a bunch of AoEs going off. It's like when you're playing an RPG and the computer's trying to catch up after you do a big AoE explosion. Blackwater, let's see, he failed 1, so he takes 20. Then there's the other 4d6. He failed that, so he takes another 15. Let's see, the warrior took 35. Alright, so at the end of it, Meldonis is badly wounded. He has 2 death save fails from the 2 explosions. The wizard is badly wounded. The cleric and the warrior looks beat up, but not wounded, and the cleric looks beat up but not wounded. Blackwater also looks wounded at this point.
Was there a third set of damage that he took? Because I believe he's in range for all 3 of them.
So yeah, I gave him the 3 sets of damage already. The 20, the 15, and... Or wait, did I not roll the third one? 20, oh, maybe I didn't. Alright, let me roll the last one. 14, 2d6. 19. Oh, well, he made that one, so he takes 9 from that. So another 9. Alright, so there is a large set of explosions in the room. Blackwater curses, looking around. He says, "What happened?" Neil looks
Can
to the
we-
group.
Burst through the doors.
Alright, so you're bursting
Yeah.
in now?
The
Alright,
explosion goes off.
Yeah,
Give
we
me-
burst in right after the explosion.
give me initiative rolls.
Please let me in, not bloody talk.
I'm with healing for the love of God.
Guys, prioritize the ring. Healing can come after. No.
Fuck off. Oh.
Just kill everyone!
What are you, Riven? He's fine. He's fine. Alright, so initiatives for the survivors, which there are 4 of them. And Blackwater.
Please roll low for the love of God. Oh God.
I wasn't selecting my token, lol. Thanks, Steve.
Alright, is everyone on there?
Is my token not on there? Am I?
Are you... Well, if you're not... I mean, I see your character in initiative.
Oh no, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. And let me roll initiative for your allies. And Neil. Because I don't have his info on here. Well, Neil did not roll so well. Alright, so the first act in all the craziness is the Master Thief. He is going to come over this way. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to kind of struggle to get past everyone, level his crossbow at the wizard here, and take a shot. Coming for you. 16. So the wizard is going to actually not get hit by that one, I don't think. Oh, no, never mind, he is. So he gets struck for 5 piercing. Ugh. And the thief reloads. Scurry.
Alright, I'm gonna burst into the room. Blackwater's there. Okay.
So you would notice something strange. Blackwater seems to have a bunch of flames, like circling him right now.
Interesting. At the start of my round, I'd like to use feline agility to get up my movement speed.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go over to Blackwater. But as I'm bursting into the room, I will say, we're just here for Blackwater. If you guys surrender, you won't be further harmed. We'll let you live, and you'll be able to keep all of your shit. We're just here for Blackwater.
Alright.
And then I will try and stab Blackwater with my rapier. Shit, didn't classify my weapons. Let me do that.
Alright, so you lunge at him. He has his wand out at this point. Go ahead and do an attack roll. Ooh, no.
23.
He has advantage because
I have advantage. He hasn't moved.
Okay.
Hasn't had a turn yet.
That's true. So with a 23, that would strike. Alright, so you would notice that it seems like some kind of shielding absorbed part of the attack, and he would only take 10 points of damage. But he still kind of stumbles back as you cut at him. Also, the flames on him jump off and kind of go at you as you stab him.
Okay.
dealing 9 points of fire damage.
Damn, okay. And then
Or did
I
you roll
will.
your crit damage? Because
Uh,
I don't get crit because he's not
Yeah, he's
surprised,
not.
I think? Or is he still
Oh.
surprised?
No, he's not surprised.
Okay.
There was just a big fire explosion, so he was on guard after that.
Okay, and then I will bonus attack with my dagger.
Okay.
13 to hit.
No, 13 would not be enough, and he dodges
so.
that one. Anything else?
No, that will be my turn.
All right, so Meldonis, if
That's
you
save.
if you have a what's it called, a inspiration point, you are at
Nope.
2 failures.
Nope, I don't.
Ugh, all right, so this
You got one last game.
yeah, this is a big one. Go
You did
ahead.
get one last game. Did you use it already?
Yeah, I
You
used
did.
it to.
All right, so
Yep, I am
unfortunately,
dead.
Meldonis
You had
would
enhanced
die.
ability.
Fuck.
No, it would have worn off already, and that
Oh,
was
okay.
for social checks, right?
But wait, what? Why did you use it? You didn't use it because you already had advantage from the.
No, the
No, it wore
second
off
time I
the
didn't.
second time.
Yeah,
He used
to
it to
use
get
it.
him down with a deception check.
yeah. So
we-
unfortunately, go ahead.
Do we know that he died? Like, if I went over and we were to like cast Cure Wounds, would I know, or would I have to cast Cure Wounds to
At
find
this
out?
point, you would need Revivify because you have 1 round to Revivify him, but I don't know if you have the spell.
No,
or the
I'm just saying what I
runes.
know, because I was planning to run over and heal him, so I'll probably do that anyway next turn because I don't know if he's dead or
Yeah,
not.
you probably wouldn't know yet. You would just see him laying there. But
Okay.
yeah, unfortunately, Meldonis does pass. So the gladiator goes. Actually, Scurry, give me an intimidation,
Okay.
because he is he's not
Not
liking
that
the
good at it.
situation. All right, yeah. So he's gonna rush over towards you, bastard. And he's gonna use his multi-attack, making 3 melee. 12 versus AC.
Does not hit.
All right.
Does not hit. Does not
Those
hit.
are some bad rolls from him.
Rough.
All right, so he's apparently just messed up by the fireball and like stabbing like crazy, and you would dodge all 3. Blackwater goes. He curses and he says, "You'll pay for this," and he begins casting a spell. Is anyone doing anything? Okay.
Watching in awe.
He disappears.
Fuck.
The Mind Mage goes. He is going to make his own check about all this. He says, "I give up." He puts his hand up, and this guy yells, "You fucking coward." Master Thief runs in from the back. He looks to the warrior here. He says, "Are you gonna die or are you gonna give up?" And at this point, the guy would sigh as well and put his spear down. And it looks like the cleric is looking to surrender as well at this point. What does the group want to do? Do you want to take them out, or are you going to take them prisoner? Neil says
Focus on Blackwater. Focus on Blackwater.
Blackwater's already gone.
Yes,
Neil,
but I've got to get.
Neil would say, "I say we just kill them."
I promised them that they'd survive if they gave up. I say we put them with Lyra and let them go after it's over. For now, we need to figure out what the fuck happened to Blackwater.
Well, apparently he has magic. Did anyone know he had magic? I thought he was just some noble.
Might be the ring.
All right, so
And
this
he
point,
might not have he might have
I'm
teleported
flying-
not too
I'm
far. He
flying
might still be
in.
in the caves.
He
I'm
might be
flying-
invisible. He might still be around.
So at
If
this
we're out of
point,
initiative,
I'm going to drop you out of combat unless anyone wants to keep fighting, because the
No,
enemy
but I-
surrendered.
And that's fine.
All right. So what's
Does
the group
anyone
wanna do?
have Revivify?
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't know if anyone does.
Can't yet.
Yeah, I don't think you
So-
can get it.
We
Then
can.
I'm
So I'm gonna-
Actually, no, you could have
Okay.
necromancy.
we can speak more about what might happen next. If you let's talk in the other channel really quick.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna run over and try and heal him.
Give me
I'm
one
going.
one moment. You would see he is dead though.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, how would you like to play this? Like, do you want to try to say there's something storyline wise that could happen to get this character back in, or do you think you'd rather go with like a different character? Any thoughts?
Um, it, it. I mean, it could. Oh, actually, why didn't I think of this? I may only have one. Um, death save because I have Strength of the Grave.
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot that I had that. So the thing that put me down originally was the 20 damage.
Yeah.
So I have to roll I believe it's a charisma. Let me see. 5e. Okay, it is technically it's impossible. Would you say on a natural 20? Because it's a constitution check of 5 plus the damage I took, which would be 25, and I have a +4 to my con save. So I literally could not
Yeah,
get 25.
I could just for the fun, I could give you a roll and see if you could hit a natural 20. But in the unlikely event that you, or in the likely event that you don't, like, what do you just so we could plan for it? What do you think would happen next? You mentioned you might be stepping out of the game at some point.
No, yeah, I thought I was gonna have to be moved to second shift, but um,
Oh, did something change with that?
yeah, it was essentially solely based on if one person quit or not,
Okay.
and that didn't happen. So,
Oh, okay,
uh,
cool.
yeah, as far as I know, I can still
Well,
play.
okay. Well, so yeah, we could do the roll, see if you get a natural 20. If you didn't, would you be on board for doing a new character since Meldonis is fairly new, or did you want to try to come up with some other thing to bring him back in the story, story wise?
I mean, I would like to continue playing Maldonis because there's a lot of things that I wanted to do with him, and I didn't even get to do the reveal that he's also a Blackwater.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can make the roll for sure, and let me think of ways that we could possibly have you come
So
back into the
close.
story. Maybe. Oh, did you roll
So
already?
close.
Oh.
I rolled an 18.
Yeah, we can. Let me see. Strength of the Grave. If you could link it.
Where, where would that be?
There should be a. If it's on your sheet, there should be a button
I
to.
I had to manually put it in.
Is it under your
Uh,
powers?
I have it under my class features.
Here, let me see if I could just look it up real quick. It's called Strength of the Grave.
Yeah.
I see. Strength of the Grave. Well, damage 0. Charisma saving throw.
Oh, what I wrote read was Constitution.
It says charisma save.
Oh,
So
well,
what's your
if it's
charisma?
charisma, with that roll, I would have made it because I have +7 in my charisma.
All right. So you'd be at 2 death save failures, right? At this point.
Correct.
All
Instead
right.
of 3.
So let's head back in.
Okay.
I don't want to pay him. That's the whole point.
DM's back. DM's
All
back.
right, I'm back.
What's
so
happening?
We realize that he has an ability that we forgot to take into account called Strength of the Grave, which when he is knocked to 0, he instead makes a Charisma save, which we just made. It says Con, but he meant to roll Charisma. Which, what did you roll on that with the 18? If you get plus Charisma?
It would be 20. It's more than 25. Yeah.
Okay, so he would have
Or
made
25 on the number, like on the
Yeah,
dot.
so he would have rolled just what he needed to drop to 1. So he is instead of dead, he is at 2 death save fails at the moment, which means we should technically still be in combat. But
Oh.
someone said they were running over to heal him.
Yes, that was what I was gonna do, regardless, because I thought he was
Alright.
still alive.
So
Thank God.
Meldonis is at the very edge of death's door as you run over and heal him for 16 as your vision.
Grab him by the throat and surge some energies in him.
Don't you die on me! Whoa! And you do a heal.
Choke on life.
Yeah.
Oh god. Why?
As they're doing that, just after he went invisible, I want to do fairy fire, like coming through and do fairy fire. So if he's invisible, I can catch him. Blackwater, but carry on.
All right, so you hit the corner there with fairy fire, but nothing really lights up. You don't think he's there. Does
The whole
anyone have? I guess you could make an Arcana check to figure out what he cast. I think the DC is, let's say it's like 15 plus the level of the spell he used,
Okay.
or 10. I forget the rule for it.
Nice.
I think,
Nice.
yeah.
So you think he cast some sort of teleportation spell?
Do we have any inkling as to our potential range, or is it like unlimited?
Teleport can bring you anywhere on the plane. So
Is it?
it's a very powerful spell, which makes you kind of curious how he has that powerful of magic. Is just a noble.
So we think the spell's teleport, not just a teleportation type spell.
He could have used an item to do it. It's hard to say, but it did look like he channeled energy when he was casting it.
Okay, so it's not like Dimension Door or Misty Step or something like that. Then it's
No,
natural.
it's
Okay.
higher level. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Actually,
I'm gonna tell this to the group,
hang on a
saying,
second. No, I guess you would have realized that it was probably some kind of dimension door.
So he can only be 500 meters anywhere then.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I'm going to turn to Neil. Go back, search the town with all your people. See if you can find him up there.
Wait.
Us,
I
go
thought
to his
we
fucking
were.
mansion.
I thought we were attacking the mansion.
Well, right now we don't have to because
We do have to.
well,
If
in
he's
the
going
mansion.
anywhere, he's going where he's safest, which is in his mansion with all his guards
not
and shit.
necessarily because if he's teleported, he could have gone to the town and done a runner.
But we have people on the surface, right, Neil? To prevent that?
He says we have some people near the house to keep an eye out, but the main attack was supposed to happen underground. I was assuming we were going to attack at this point through the tunnel.
We're definitely attacking. Yeah. The question
think
is,
that's
can we
probably the last.
can we activate like 2 or 3 people to watch the exits of the town to make sure he doesn't flee?
Says, well, we have people up there, but at this point, if he hasn't already, he's probably retreated to his mansion and is probably on guard. I think we should try to get to the tunnel quickly because we'll have to deal with his mercenaries, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's just run through, I guess.
He says there's no more sneaking at this point. I didn't think Blackwater would actually be here.
I'm going to ask the one who dispelled the star. No, do I want it? No, I won't.
So his 2 guys come over and start tying up the prisoners.
Well, I would like to go over to at least the cleric and the fighter to have a little chat with them.
All right. So as you approach, Father Duval shakes his head and he says, "Meldonis, how could you do this?" Blackwater supported you. He helped us all. Why would you turn on him?
No, he didn't. No, he was biding his time just to get what he wanted. Like myself. However, I'm willing to give you two, a deal. Whatever Blackwater is paying you currently, I'll double it for your support in taking him down.
The warrior looks intrigued. He says it's not a bad deal. But the Father Duval says, I don't just take jobs for money, friend. I take them because of support from the church, and Blackwater has been an ally to the Church of Palor. He says, I would never turn on an ally, so you can forget it.
Very well.
I want to talk to the cleric and ask him, why did you dispel the ward?
What?
You
The
dispelled.
wizard dispelled it.
Yeah, no, I don't know that, but I'm just gonna ask him.
Well, you probably wouldn't even know he dispelled the ward because you were
I
back
can
in the
see
hallway.
it's not there anymore.
I mean, I guess you could see it's not there. Sure, you can make that leap.
The father did not do that. It was the Arcanist over here.
The wizard nods. He says, does that deal apply to me too?
Yes, I thought you'd be a little salty after I tried to make sure you weren't really a threat, but if there's no hard feelings,
He says, hey,
I'll double your pay,
I'm
whatever.
still breathing. It's not the first time I've been counterspelled. He says, and I'm assuming if we say no, we're probably going to end up buried in a ditch somewhere.
Oh no.
I promised you you'd keep your lives if you surrendered, and you did, so you'd be alive regardless.
He says, well, I could possibly be persuaded to work for you.
You help us take down Lord Blackwater, and like I said, I will double your pay.
He thinks for a moment. Give me a persuasion check. Actually, give me one for give me one for the fighter, and you'll be at advantage for his. Okay.
Don't need it.
And
for the wizard.
Wizard. Ooh.
Oh.
Well, 15 still isn't bad. He thinks for a moment and says, double my pay. So he says, I am a fairly talented arcanist. Blackwater was paying me a sum of 5 gold a day for my services. So you're willing to pay me 10 a day?
Of course.
He says, well, I'm in then. And the cleric shakes his head. He says, you all disgust me. He says, gold is not everything.
I want to talk to the cleric.
You're correct, Father. Gold is not everything.
When Madonna's saying this, I'm just gonna look over at Scurry. Can I roll perception?
Yeah. What do you say,
just wanna
Scurry?
Oh, I'm just looking at it, or I'm just trying to see how he reacts to hiring these individuals for.
You mean insight?
No. Or insight? Yeah, you're right. Insight.
Yeah,
It'd
give
be
me
insight.
an insight check. How Scurry reacts?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
How's Scurry reacting to this?
Yeah, Scurry is wary. Like, he's not. He's got to keep an eye out to see if they don't try and backstab, but he's completely fine with it, yeah.
Alright, and I'm fine with it too.
So, Neil, as he's been thinking about all this, he says, I don't know if attacking from the basement is going to be an option anymore. Because at this point, they still have the gate up, they still have their crossbows, and we still be running into a blender of arrows if we try to rush. So we might have to change our plan. I'm assuming
I agree.
Blackwater...
I think frontal assault is gonna be bad at this point.
He nods. He says, yes, I think we're going to have to attack his base. But that also brings back... maybe we should just retreat to the base for now.
Oh, I would
Mm.
let your people know that Galen is planning on moving on the Blood Hand. He was talking with the mayor when I found him, and he
He says,
had mentioned something about that.
"What did you hear?"
All I heard was that Galen has the or that the mayor has the full support of Galen Blackwater in the move against the Blood Hand. I don't know when
Oh
or any
shit!
other
We
details.
need to get back to the base then. If we don't know when, they could be attacking now for all we know. Gods, I knew
That's
those.
very true.
If they're attacking now, we should just attack Blackwater because then the guards will be at your place and not his.
He says, yes, but that means they'll probably take a bunch of our people prisoner or kill them. You mean attack from below? As I said, I don't think that's an option anymore. We would have had to sneak our forces in, because if that gate's up, I don't know how we'd get past it. And if Blackwater got back to his mansion, then the gate's going to be up, and they're going to be on high alert.
I suppose you're
Oh,
right.
yes.
Well, we have to leave now, I guess. Forget what we do on the surface.
Before we go, because where I'm standing, I can see the barrier pentagrams are gone. So I'm going to turn and ask and say, "Who the fuck dispelled the barrier?"
They all just look at you.
The one there, the pentagram on the floor. Who got rid of it?
The
The
Arcanist.
Arcanist.
Why?
Because Blackwater asked me to.
Why did he ask you? Because that was only stopping beings that were from another plane.
That
I
is a
think
good point, Riven. Why did he ask?
Well, he mentioned that it could still be dangerous, some kind of trap, the Arcanist says.
it's not. It's
Well,
not
what
dangerous.
was the black
Definitely.
fire around him then?
It's definitely suspicious. Him insisting on dispelling the ward and showing more power than we assumed.
Yeah, especially
Also,
since he
and
wasn't
I'm gonna
wary
look
of
at the. I'm gonna look at the cleric. Also, we know for a fact that he hired the Iron Tide to be here. Just something to think about. His ring is the price to keep this town safe.
Give me a persuasion check.
I have a question, DM, but I'll ask you after.
Technically,
So-
wouldn't it be deception because we don't know for a fact?
I mean,
what he's saying is fairly
It
true.
is.
Yeah.
I'm sure
the
enough.
ring is the price. So if we don't
Yeah,
deliver the
yeah.
ring to Orcard, he's going to keep attacking until he
That's true.
gets
That's
it.
true. That's true.
So he would say such what would the word be? He says, I would not trust someone who just attacked and blew up all these innocent soldiers. He says, you will not persuade me. It's obvious that you're all liars.
I will attest to that under the influence of Circle of Truth, if you insist. If there's anything I can do to get people to believe us.
Yeah, well, all it proves is that we're daft. I think it's better to just leave and go up to the surface as quick as possible.
Yes, enough talking, Neil says. We need to fall back and secure our positions. I need to let Cithril know that there could be a town attack in play against us. I'm going to take my people now. You can all decide what you want to do with the prisoners. They're tied up, so...
What about Lyra?
I'll untie the Arcanist and the warrior.
Thank you, sir, he says, looking very wounded. Ugh, damn it. He says... was not expecting him to live. What's his name? Hang on, let me look it up in my notes.
Expecting him to live.
John Smith. John Smith. Oh my god, we shocked the DM. He thought we'd kill everyone and we've kept them all alive.
No, you're
First time
moving
ever,
away
actually.
from your new name. The whatever.
That's it.
Sobo Redrum.
We do the
Sobo
We do
Redrum,
the opposite of what our name is. We were the heroes of Chaur. We kill everyone. Now we're the Sobo hosts. Now we're the murder hobos. We save everyone.
We're not murder hobos. What are you talking about?
So we're
We have a place to live.
Number I'm not just saying, like, whatever we're calling ourselves on the day, we do the opposite.
So,
Oh, I think
Go
tomorrow
ahead.
we should be the benefactors of Char,
Someone just call us the
the
peasants, and then we'll
saviors
become rich.
of Char.
We're the,
Even
we're the peasants, and then we just become rich.
I will actually. I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds 2nd level again on Meldonis. And I'll cast it on whoever looks the most injured of the
Oh, the Arcanist.
Arcanist
Yeah.
looks most injured.
So the Argonist, looks like he's near death. He says, name's Griven, Griven Stardock, and this is Avik Grun, and the big guy kind of grunts a little. And he says, so we're gonna join the Heroes of Char. Although I don't know how long you're gonna stay
Well-
Heroes after Blackwater tells everyone what happened here.
You're under the employ of Meldonis.
Oh, all right. Meldonis, then he goes to shake your hand. So he's
Well, that's good news for me.
Lord,
That means I'm not paying him.
I'll shake his hand. You may refer to me as Lord Blackwater.
oh.
What now?
He looks at
I
you kind of strangely.
I have a question, DM. With knowing the pentagram was dispelled because of Blackwater and what Scurry said about the flames glowing around him, I don't know what it would be, but is there like a check I could do to see if I can
What
kind of
being
figure
he
out
is.
what he is?
Well, let me resolve this really quick. So Neil takes his people and goes. So they leave, going back to see what's going on up top. The wizard and the fighter kind of walk up to Meldonis and shake his hand. He looks at you funny when you say that, and he says, "Why would we call you Lord Blackwater?"
Because that is my surname. My name is Meldonis Blackwater. And when we kill Galen, I will be taking over the estate.
They seem kind of shocked by that. And this guy says, Father Gregory says, it all makes sense now. A political power play. I should have seen it.
Oh no. Politics have nothing to do with this.
Well, whatever the reason, it's not really concern to me, Griven says. I'll work for one Blackwater or another, if the pay's right. Havik nods. He says, agreed, myself as well. So, you're paying him 10 a day. I would ask for 5 for myself a day, if that works for you.
Of course.
So you're going to give them the money right now?
Sure.
Alright, so you hand them the coinage. They seem happy with that. Now you said you healed Griven?
Yes, I healed Griven and who else did I heal? Oh, Meldonis, yeah.
Alright, so
For
Griven
6 each.
gains 6 and Meldonis gains 6. So yeah, what does the group want to do? The Blood Hand have left the area, so it's just you and these 2 new mercs, and of course your prisoner, Gregory.
Can I try and figure out what he is?
Blackwater?
Yeah, knowing from the dispelling the barrier and the fire around him.
Well,
that's
Blackwater
very-
didn't dispel the barrier, but you can give me an
no,
Arcana
but-
check.
The wizard that he asked to do it because he was like worrying about it. And I'm going to use an inspiration because I don't trust that I'll fucking pull this off.
Okay.
Thank fuck for that.
So with a 19, you think Blackwater could have cast Fire Shield or had some kind of contingency that cast it when he took a certain amount of damage. There are a couple of different magical explanations as to what the fire was, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's some kind of other type of creature, though you would be very suspicious with why he dispelled that barrier.
So I'm not 100%
Unfortunately,
sure.
yeah, unfortunately, you don't have enough information to get a good reading either way.
I'm not 100% sure he's human, but not 100% sure he's not. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it could be that he has an artifact that can't go through.
Yeah, maybe that. There could be a number of different explanations. Nothing that he's done isn't doable with magic, so he definitely is some sort of magic user or has has something that lets him use magic.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over to Mia and say, let's go back and make sure Lyra's all right.
Okay. So the group's going to go back to the base.
Well, I'm leaving
What
now.
What are we
I'm
doing
start
with the
rocking out.
cleric and with?
I was suggesting we leave the cleric with the blood hand where Lyra is, and that
Yeah, but depending on if they're going to attack them tomorrow, will they attack the prison they're keeping Lyra and the cleric in?
yeah. Well, at that point, that's that. Like, what else are we gonna keep him?
Well, we can have him swear on his honor not to turn against us and to leave.
Yeah, because he's not going to lie to us and then turn against us because he's lying, because we're liars.
Griven says, "Did you all kill Lyra?"
No, she's alive.
Oh, that's good. She seemed nice.
That's what she wanted you to think. No, I'm joking.
Except she
All
got
right,
everyone
Mr.
killed.
Cleric. If you're willing to swear on your god that should you be set free, that you will not get involved in our matter with Blackwater, we'll let you go.
Says, "I will make no such promise to people with no honor."
Didn't think you would. Worth a try. In that case,
Right.
we keep him locked up, I guess. Starting to regret promising him his life, but promise is a promise.
All
We
right.
need to deal with the people in town.
I mean, technically, I wasn't around for that promise.
I don't give a
I
shit.
don't Keeping
I
alive
promised
means
him his
also
life.
not-
He's under my protection, unless you
Yeah.
want to kill me too.
The warrior Avik Run, he says he shouldn't kill someone who's tied up.
That too.
It leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
I said that out of character.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you said that as kind of an intimidation thing.
I did.
All right.
I am actually going to.
Oh, God.
What I was going to say is, if they're going to move on the Bloodhound tomorrow, we need to decide what we're doing about the people in charge tonight, because Blackwater is going to make everything he can do to turn against them now that we've done this.
Who says
So
we're
we need-
moving tomorrow, or we're moving
Yeah.
now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's
what-
what I'm saying.
What are we doing with the people? Are we just attacking his place now?
Potentially.
Let's
Yes.
see what Neil
Yes.
says and what the Bloodhand's doing, and coordinate off of that. But for now, I think we just leave the cleric here, tied up in the care of the Bloodhand, to be let free whenever this is resolved.
Griven would say, it's true that Blackwater's resources are spent a little, but attacking the house would be dangerous. I know he has a lot of magical traps set up. He has defenses because he knew that there was the possibility that some kind of actually a fight with the Iron Tide is he was more expecting them to rush the town and break in and attack. So he does have some defenses set up. Though he
Would
doesn't
you
have
be
as
able
many
to
people.
disable him?
I don't know where all of them are. I could probably help get rid of some of them that I know of, but either way, it would be a really hard fight to get past that wall with the mercenaries he has left.
Do you have a suggestion for how we do this then?
Maybe given some time, I could think about it, but I know doing it right now. Well, I'd have to know what type of forces you have. Let me think on it and get back to you, if that's all right, Lord Black.
Very well. For now, let's
What
head
about
back up to the surface.
What about someone who could fly over the wall?
I apologize, but I have to bow out early. My lawyer's calling me. I have some stuff I've got to do.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's been really great, and don't kill Lyra. That's all I have to say about it.
I make no
Don't
promises.
He's
worry.
the first to die.
Try not
I almost
to kill
killed
us.
Meldonis. You think I care about
I
Lyra?
know, like that is like if we could not kill Maldonis and Lyra, I would be a peachy person.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah,
I
no
leave it in your
worries.
capable hands.
Yeah, you
Thank
can.
you guys.
You can back out. I'll keep you in the background.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right. So the group is heading back to where exactly?
Are we leaving the cleric behind?
I assumed you were taking him with you.
We're taking him up to the surface, but I actually want to keep him at the entrance, like the house where we enter that has the tunnels going down. I'm assuming they have guards there.
At the entrance of what?
It's like the house,
The safe
that goes
house from the
down,
Bloodhound.
the safe house
You mean the entrance above ground or below ground?
above ground.
Like just in the front door?
No, like in the house itself.
house,
with
right?
The
Oh,
Bloodhound
yeah.
guard.
Yeah. No, you
Yeah.
can. I would assumed you were taking him up into the house. So
Yeah,
that's fine.
that's. But can we leave him there in the house if we leave? would
You
they-
probably have to talk to the Bloodhand about it, but I mean, they're
Yeah.
holding Lyra prisoner, so they could probably hold him as well.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Okay, so you are moving through the halls. These halls aren't as dangerous, but they still do take some time to navigate if you don't have a map. So give me a survival check.
And of course, Mia's not here.
That was Mia. I guess I can roll for Mia if she's the only one with survival.
Mia's just like in silence. I have to guide her. She's just shocked.
Yeah, she's just taking it all in. All right, survival. Yeah, so she does a very good job navigating you through, and you actually get there quicker than you were expecting, as it's now probably about 4:10 in the afternoon/evening. You would reach the Bloodhand house. So you're back on the surface. You said you're gonna put the cleric. You give him to the Bloodhand to imprison. You would see
Correct.
a bunch of people running around in the house. A bunch of the Bloodhand, as Neil is kind of directing them to do different jobs. They're keeping a close watch on the outside, but so far no one's attacked them. He says, welcome. As you all climb up the ladder. And I guess you give him the priest, which he directs his people to put into imprisonment. He says, so I need to get in touch with Cithril. I sent some people to talk to her, but for now I'm trying to make sure everything's secure.
Alright, what's the plan until then?
He says, my thoughts would be a frontal assault, but I have to coordinate with Cithril, see what she thinks, and we also have to keep an eye out for now possible town guard attacks. So honestly, I'm not completely sure what we're going to do.
What would distract the town guard from getting involved?
Ooh, what if
You would,
we,
Ribbon.
Yes,
we,
but-
How about we, as the heroes at Chaur, go have a chat with the mayor and see
That's
if we
what
can
I was
pull it
thinking.
off?
Are you sure you want to do that? It could be dangerous at this point if Blackwater gets word to her that you're working with us.
The town guard here are chumps. I doubt they'd be able to hold us.
Yeah, but if we kill the guards, then she'll definitely not listen to us.
It's only a worst case scenario.
There is
We're
a...
going there to keep them out of it.
The only one they have that's skilled is that Captain Grobe. I would be a little worried about him, but you're right. For the most part, these town guard are chumps. If you think that's a good play, you could try it. But I would be. I think the dice have been thrown at this point, and I think most likely there's been messages sent that you are enemies of the town.
If you're
In
going
that
to
case, let's
could-
get Orkard involved then. I'm assuming.
He's a bit of ways away out, but we could definitely send someone to him.
How far out
I
is
can
it?
Should
suggest
be close.
He
We
was
got him
he
to
was
way
about
close.
Well-
he was like 4 miles out at least.
You
At the very
you
least,
had
like,
sent
he was-
I thought you sent Iara to ask him to bring his forces closer.
Yeah.
we did.
But we said not too close, like far enough away that they wouldn't get detected by the town guard, so they can't be very close, right? Like keeping an army close to it, like people would find out, right?
Yeah,
I
so
don't know,
he's
actually.
probably at least he's probably several miles out because yeah, you're right. They couldn't bring the army close without it being
European
seen.
here. How long would it take for them to get here if it's a couple miles?
So it would probably be maybe 4 or 5 hours for him to bring all his forces here.
That's fine.
So you'd have to send word out, and then once it got to him, it would be like half of a day to get word to him, then get his forces here.
Maybe we should send Tal's owl with a note.
We want his forces here, though. Can't we handle this more silently?
What if we have his forces just like making a lot of noise, and then we have Riven running to the town, yelling about dragons?
Or how about I just suggest to the mayor that the town guard attack Blackwater because he's going to kill the whole town.
I doubt
works
she.
for-
Like
a
Neil
suggestion,
said,
though.
she's already gonna be on the side of Blackwater. I doubt we'd be able to convince her
I don't need to
to
convince.
stand aside,
Suggestions.
let alone attack her.
It's a suggestion spell. She'd do it anyway because she's charmed to do it. The same way
Well-
I charmed the girl to follow me around. And it
We
lasts
don't-
for 8 hours.
We don't know if she's necessarily in charge, especially if Blackwater's been meddling, and
Just do it to the
perhaps
guard.
if she acts out of character, Blackwater might have people in place that just go through with their plan anyway.
Well, then I just tell her
It's
not
worth
to
a
get
shot, I
involved.
guess. We need to decide right now if we want to get the Iron Tide involved or not.
I think
Personally,
they,
I think that we
It-
can't take the risk of not having them involved. But if you guys are vetoing me on that, that's fine with me.
Neil,
I say just bring them up to the gates so they can extract us.
Neil says, I think we should just have them attack the walls, help take control of the town. It's what we'd be doing anyway. And once we get what we need, we can just leave with them. Some people will probably get killed, but that's inevitable no matter how we do this. We'll just be making it harder if we don't use our resources.
At this point, it's out of control, yeah.
And if it's quicker, we might actually save a few lives, as opposed to it being a more drawn-out, even battle, so to speak.
I say we contact Blackwater, tell him to march his troops up to the North Gate. We'll try to take control of the North Gate and get them in.
He meant Iron Tide.
Iron Tide, yeah.
Iron Tide, yeah. And we'll try and get them in, because that's the closest to the Blackwater Mansion. Most of the other parts of the town will not be involved in that. Meanwhile, we can have our good old evil loot fairy go through the town screaming that people should get in their fucking houses.
Or I just set fire to half the town.
Let's not do that.
Let's not set fire, but
Scream that people have to stay in their fucking houses because shit's about to get real.
Alright, so then the Iron Tide would probably arrive somewhere in the late night, because it would be probably about 8 hours from now, so around midnight if we sent out a messenger now to run for them. Do you know, or do you have someone who knows where they are?
I'm assuming to the north. That's
Well, he says the north is a large area.
yeah.
I could technically fly to where they are.
I mean, I can send my familiar, but...
Maybe we send both Riven and the familiar. Although Riven would be gone for the 8 hours then.
So, Iara is back in the Maplewood also.
Oh, okay, well then we just get
She's-
Yara to do it.
Yeah, she knows where they are. I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, she's here.
Nope.
That's easy enough then.
All right, so is that the plan? You're getting the Iron Tide to kind of come in from the north and attack.
I know Mia wouldn't agree with this, but
I
let's just
mean,
say that.
I also don't
Yeah.
agree. Like,
Um,
I want to talk to the cleric before he leaves once more, and I wanted to ask him what it would take for him to take us seriously.
So you're
While he's
gonna.
asking that,
Sorry, what?
I
when he
want to ask.
asks that,
Or I mean,
sorry, Karen.
Riven, what are you saying? You sound all muffled. I can't hear you.
When he asks that, I'm going to detect thoughts and go
Well,
deep into his mind.
I
deep into his
assumed
mind.
he was just gonna go alone to talk to him, unless you're all going to talk to Father Gregory.
I was thinking about doing it before we sent him away with the. Yeah. What's it called? The Bloodhand. Before he gets into prison, I want to ask him that.
Well, he's already been imprisoned by
Oh.
them. He's with Lyra at this point, just locked up in one of the rooms under guard. Do you want to go talk to him, or do you want to do
Yeah,
something else?
yeah. I wanna go talk to him.
Okay. And are you going alone or with people?
I don't know if anyone wants to come with.
I'll go.
I'm headed to the Maplewood to get the message out to Orchard as soon as possible.
Me
All
as
right.
well.
So the group's kind of splitting up, doing different things. We have. Who was it? We had Scurry going to the Maplewood. Was anyone else going anywhere? Okay. So I guess Scurry's going to the Maplewood, and Tal is going to speak with Gregory. Alone or with people?
I'll go with Tal.
Okay. Well, I guess it would be Tal's decision because I assume he's.
Let him come
If he
with.
wants me to come.
Yeah, either he might just not say anything and go, or he might ask people to go with him. Do you have a preference, Tal?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go alone.
Okay. So you don't mention it to anyone. You just kind of walk off to the side to go speak with Father Gregory. You would find there are several of the blood hands watching the room he's locked in. They would look at you and say, "What do you want?"
I just want to talk to him. Can you give me a minute?
Give me a persuasion check with advantage. He says, if we ungag him, he might try to cast something. He sure about this? We got a bunch of magic users roped up in there. I don't know if you want to let them talk or him talk.
I'm gonna keep him gagged for now. And if it seems like it's safe, I'm gonna ungag him.
And he nods and opens the door, and you see the two of them still kind of tied up within the room. They would look as you enter, but of course they can't say anything. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna take out my holy symbol and I'm gonna tell him, you know, I wouldn't do this if I didn't think it was the only way to keep the town safe from the Iron Tide. And I'm gonna watch for a reaction if he, I don't know, seems interested or...
Well, he looks up at you, but obviously he can't respond, so he just kind of, he's looking at you.
If I remove your gag, do you promise to not try to escape for now?
He would... Give me a persuasion. He nods.
I'm gonna take off his gag. Does he immediately say something or...
He seems a little annoyed, but he says, "Why are you even talking to me? After what you and your group did?" He says,
Because
I realize
things
you...
are
Go ahead.
things are about to get worse, and I want to prevent that. Is there any way we can convince you and the mayor, probably, to believe us and not make things worse? Let us deal with Blackwater.
He says, I don't know the mayor that well. We've only spoken once or twice, but I still don't see why you and your group are any better than Blackwater.
I don't know it.
Blackwater
I don't.
hasn't killed a bunch of people, as far as I know you have.
For the record, I was not very into that plan in the first place, but that's beside the point. I know you have no reason to trust us, but Blackwater has the thing that will keep this town safe if the Iron Tide gets it. And that's what counts. If the Iron Tide attacks this town, you know it's gonna be chaos.
He says the Iron Tide is still here?
Yes.
So you didn't even do that.
We got them. We stopped them from attacking the town and enslaving people. Please.
Give me another persuasion check. He says, of course I don't want people to die. But
Okay.
I have no guarantee that helping you would save any lives. And
You don't-
even if I wanted to, what would I do to help prevent bloodshed? The decisions you make are up to you. I have no control of your group or the Blood Hand.
You can't think of a way. I don't know, I was just hoping you would be able to help me here.
This is a way to what? Get Blackwater to give up his magic?
To stop the town from coming after us. After they hear from Blackwater what we did.
He says, well, I don't really have a way of, or I don't really know of a way of getting Blackwater's ring, if that's what you're asking. But, as I said, even if I did, I have no way I could trust you after what you've done.
So, and you'd have no in with the mayor, or could convince her to not move against us.
He says, I am not a deceitful person. I would never lie to her. And you all...
I don't want you to lie. I want you to convince her of the truth, which is Blackwater is the one who brought the Iron Tide here, who caused all of this. He's the one who can stop it.
Give me a persuasion check again. He kind of examines you a bit as you say that. Maybe using some insight. Do you have proof that what you say is true? That Blackwater brought the Iron Tide here to attack the town?
If I had proof, I would have brought it before the town. As soon as I had it. What would be proof? Would it be proof if I brought a member of the Iron Tide here? You put him under the circle of truth, and he tells you his story.
He says, but why would Blackwater hire the Iron Tide to attack our town, or to attack this town, then...
He didn't hire them to attack it. He hired them to find the relics, to get into this ruins he's searching for. And then he somehow antagonized them.
Well, that sounds like it's their fault then if they attacked. Granted,
You really blame the Iron Tide for acting as they are expected to, and don't blame Blackwater for bringing them here.
He says, perhaps there's a little bit of blame on both sides, but Blackwater did not tell them to attack the town. I don't know why he brought them here, if what you say is true.
He has the ring, he needs to give it up for them to leave. That's all that matters.
He says, who Who are you a follower of?
He could recognize my symbol probably. It's Erathis. She's actually, I looked it up. She is, I don't know. There's a rumor she has like a thing with Pelor.
A thing?
Yeah, they're rumored to be like a couple, but nothing official.
Arathis. So he says, would your deity approve of those people's deaths down there? Do you think what you did would be acceptable to her? I mean, how would you feel in my situation?
I would not trust myself either.
Exactly. So how can I trust any of what you're saying?
Put me under the circle of truth.
He says you'd untie me to let me cast spells.
I would have to check that with the group if they allow me to do that. But would that be enough?
He says, if I could question you under a circle of truth, it would certainly help your case.
My case, I kind of need promises here.
He says, even if all you say is true, though, I cannot forgive what happened to those people down in the ruins below. They did not deserve to die like that.
They didn't. And I'm sorry for that.
He says, well,
Okay.
I can give no guarantees, but as I said, that would work towards some sort of trust being established. A circle of truth. All right,
Maybe
so
it will come to that.
I'm going to hop over to Scurry real quick as you ran to the inn over here. You would see Iara. Well, you would probably know the room Iara was in. So if you went up there, it is daytime, so she is currently sleeping. If you knock on the door.
I'll knock louder, wake her up.
What is it? She opens the door, rubbing her eyes. Scurry, what's happened?
Long story short, shit's going down. We're suspecting that Blackwater is some kind of other. We know Blackwater is some other plane being, demon, something that we don't know. But he knows what's going on, and shit's going down. We need the Iron Tide here as soon as possible.
A devil or a demon? Or
something from another plane.
Huh. Alright, well, that would make a couple of things make sense. So, you wish me to summon the Iron Tide? Are you sure?
Correct.
If they come here, you know they're going to cause a lot of damage and destruction.
The idea is that we get them in through the north gate. People on our side will get the gate open for them. And the only thing they'll have to deal with is going straight to Blackwater's mansion. Most of the town should be left out of that. Any casualties that have to happen. But let's try and keep as many normal people out of this as we can.
Alright, well, it'll take me about 5 hours to get there, then I assume about 5 hours to get everyone back. Is there a way you can have the north gate secured by the time we get back so we don't have to fight through the wall? Since you'll be on the inside.
Correct.
She says, I assume by that point the shit's going to be hitting the fan and everything's going to be in dismay in the town. Disarray.
Most of the attention should be focused inside of the town regardless, so the gate shouldn't be that well protected. Me and my party will secure the north gate, let's say 9 hours from now then, and we'll make sure that the Iron Tide can get in without causing too much of an issue.
You know how I hate walking in the sunlight. Alright. I should get going then. Let me gather my things and I'll start heading out. Expect us to be here... What time is it? Or 8 hours, not 10 hours. Expect us to be here probably around midnight, maybe a little after.
That should help with hiding the troops for at least a while, maybe. Regardless.
Alright, I'll sneak out.
I'll see you soon, honey.
She looks at you a little strangely and says, "Honey? What do you mean, honey?"
We're not on those terms yet? Nah, we'll get there.
Give me
Talk to you later.
give me a persuasion check. Oh.
Nice. Nice.
All right. She gives you half a smile under her mask there and says, "All right." And she gets her stuff and takes off. All right. So it's probably about 4:30ish at this point. What is the plan? I know we're getting close to the 2 o'clock mark in the real world time, but we can get an idea of what the group's going to do next time since everything's all over the place.
Am I still at the safe house with Nalo and Neil and them?
Yeah, I assume you're all still there except for Scurry, unless you want to go somewhere.
Nala was coming with me, he said.
Oh, okay.
I was going with him.
Sure, then Nalo was there for that conversation.
But
No, that's cool. No, it's alright.
I'd like to leave. Could I go find what's her name? The girl's hideout, the thief. Because I remember I went to her
Alira?
cave one time. Yeah, Alira. I want to go see if she's in her cave.
Did you
If she's
know
not there,
where
I'll
she
just
is?
leave.
Oh, where you originally
Yes.
found her?
No, well, so I went there when she promised to return the money, and I went to make sure that she was actually going to come back, didn't just run on us.
Okay.
So
if you go to the cave, she's not there anymore, and her stuff's gone too, so she may have relocated.
okay, I was just checking. No, I'll go back to Maplewood.
Okay.
I'd like to make sure that my alchemy teacher knows what's going on and that he's safe.
Oh, yeah, okay. He says, what are you going to tell him exactly?
I'll just be it then, I guess. Look, things are gonna go down.
Because he's actually kind of good at lying, so it might matter what you say to him, Doru.
You're gonna probably hear some negative stuff about me and my party.
Oh?
Regardless of what happens, know that we're trying to do the right thing and spare as many casualties as possible. You need to go somewhere that's safe, probably your home, and try and not get out as much as possible. So try and stay inside. There's gonna be chaos tonight / today.
He would
Just stay safe.
He'd say, what is going on, Scurry? I don't understand. What is this chaos?
Lord Blackwater is responsible for the Iron Tide coming here and abandoning them, leading to them attacking, or well, leading to them trying to deal with the situation in the way that they did. We've talked him down in return for the ring around Blackwater's finger. He refuses to give it up, knowing that would save the town.
Give me a persuasion check.
Yeah, I'll just explain the whole thing.
Yeah, I can say you explain kind of what's going on. He says,
I'm gonna use an inspiration on this.
Okay. He says, this ring belongs to Blackwater, though, doesn't it? So aren't they just stealing his property from him? And you can roll the persuasion. 15.
I'll explain that it's part of a 3-item set, that it was part of the deal with, the Blood Hand and the... I'll explain the whole thing to him, like, just complete honesty.
Alright.
And that...
So, he seems a bit torn. He definitely, if you want, you can give me an insight check. See what you can see about what he's thinking.
Oh god, imagine if he's going to tell people.
Ooh. Yeah, it's hard to get a good read on him. He thinks for a moment, and he says, well, I appreciate you telling me all of this, Scurry. Does the rest of the town know of the danger that's to come? I feel we should warn everyone.
As we speak, the rest of my party members are going around making sure that people know to stay safe. I just wanted to come to you personally, ahead of everything happening, and probably ahead of the party being able to get around to you to make sure you're safe.
Give me. Are your people actually telling everyone what's going on, or is this a
Riven was
deception?
going around. Riven was going to go around, or is going around, as far as Scurry is aware, to tell people to stay inside and be safe.
All right. He says, all right, well, as long as everyone is being informed, if there's danger coming, we should do what we can to prepare the town. What will you all do? Are you going to help defend Blackwater, or?
We'll be assisting in retrieving the ring from Blackwater and making sure that this all goes away.
He says, but doesn't the ring belong to Blackwater? Isn't
It
as
does not. It has been recovered by him in pairing with the Iron Tide and the Blood Hand as a relic from this area. And it doesn't belong to anyone technically.
Sure. Give me one more perception there, because that's a little bit shaky logic.
Persuasion, yeah, I guess.
Or yeah, sorry, persuasion. Oh. Oh, well, I suppose that's true. I don't know. I'm going to tell people about what's happening and make sure everyone is safe when the time comes. I know that you will do your best, Scurry. I believe in your. I believe you are good, and there's goodness in you. And he would just go off to start warning people, unless you're going to say anything.
I try my best. And then
Big sigh.
I'll meet up with the rest of the party and inform them of what's happening and that we need to take the North Gate 8 hours from now. Or 9 hours from now.
Getting close to that time. All right. So when you get back, you would see there are a bunch of rogues at the base who are kind of getting weaponry together. They say there has been an attack on our northern base. We're going to go over there to help fight off some of the town guards. Looks like this candle's lit. Neil says. We're gonna work on that. I don't know what you and your group are gonna do, but I suggest you help us.
And how long is this before midnight?
Yeah, oh yeah,
roughly?
this is still pretty early. This is around
Okay.
let's see, it's probably around 5 o'clock at this point in the afternoon.
Alright, but we'll be trying to avoid casualties as much as possible.
Alright, so you're heading over to assist him?
Yes.
Alright, so this is probably a good place to stop as the group gets ready to assist their new allies, the Blood Hand. Let's do...
And with northern base, is that the main base and like the top left, or?
Yeah, that's where you originally met with Sithril,
Okay.
up there. So let's do some MVP votes. Also, he's going to bring people through the sewers, or through the underground tunnels. So, it's up to you which way you want to take, but he's going in from below. Alright, so that's one vote. 2, 3 votes. Four votes. I think I just need 2 more people. Or wait, 1 more because someone stepped out. Mia's not here right now. So Meldonis with 4 votes. You're the MVP.
Sick.
Get,
I got
your,
my inspiration.
Need
Replenishing.
that inspiration
Guzzling
back,
for
yeah.
that inspiration.
get those inspiration points. Yeah, if you're on deck to do a journal next week, so that should get you another inspiration point. Yeah, good game, everyone. I'll have to do some planning as everything's kind of all over the place. But
And-
yeah,
Scurry, in your review, can you remind us to split the money next week, just in
What
case, you die or get incapacitated and we have to leave you behind. We'll have to,
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
we'll have to
What'd you say?
split the money.
The gold. You mean the party
The-
treasure?
the
You
gold-
seem to be
yeah, the
cutting
party
out. I'm
treasure.
sorry.
Huh?
Let's do it a bit.
You mean cutting out of the party? You mean like taking a run? What are
No,
you
as
talking
in,
about?
as in like your throat.
I must have swallowed too many gold coins.
I wonder how long Maldonis is going to live now that Scurry knows he's noble.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Actually, he's
Eat the
Forsaken
rich.
Noble.
I am.
He was
He's really just
he's
a communist.
fallen.
He's apparently a Blackwater. Alright, well, I'm going to take some notes, but you're all free to take off if you want, and I'll see you all next week.
Yeah, I left the interrogation of that part for next week because I want Mia and stuff to be there, but like that's definitely getting
You want to interrogate Lyra?
brought up. No, Mildonis.
Adonis for being a Blackwater.
Some waterboarding, just your usual.
Jesus.
It's getting real.
You thought you would have closed to death before? Well, let's see, lad.
Oh god, Jesus Christ! It's there's like 1,000 things all going on now.
And Meldonis wins the world record for most time spent on 2 death saves.
I think the first time I was just on 1. Or was just
I looked at
unconscious.
because while you were gone, we were literally just like, right, okay, we can get the cleric, get you the cleric to bring him back.
Yeah, I constantly forget that I have Strength of the Grave. Because the DC is so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, technically you were on 2 because you lived on 1, then you got unconscious, and then you got 1 fail from the next bomb,
Yeah.
and then you failed once, you're on 2.
Right.
And I run over and healed you.
But then you get healed, yeah. Fuck, man. I would have felt so bad. Like, honestly, that would have been a moral turning part for, like, the whole party, I feel.
What, that he
Evil
died?
or good?
Yeah.
Or like
I mean,
guilty
at
or-
least for Scurry would be a lot more
Start
fucking
to
careful.
question.
Mia would be in fucking shambles.
Part of me just considers like, what do you mean moral turning point? I don't get it. Like,
For
why is it
Riven,
moral?
obviously not.
Well,
Riven's
Riven,
far gone.
yeah, Riven's
He
too
turned
far
a while
gone.
ago.
Riven,
Even if
Riven's full
Mia-
on like
yeah,
eating
no.
people at this point.
He never
It
turned,
makes
he
sense.
always
I
was
needed
like that.
food.
I was hungry.
Though I
they
do
were
feel like Riven has strayed a little bit from the initial idea, unless I'm wrong here,
of what?
of the character.
No, I don't know. I'm
It's
just
called
I don't-
development.
It's sort of
Yeah.
he's gone a
It's
little bit
called being-
heavy into what
Off
is
the
it?
deep end, yeah.
Riven's been corrupted by the mortal world.
Existence is pain.
It's gone.
I shall spread it.
Due to the Feywild, which is all flowers and pretty and lovely and everything's perfect, and now he's in the mortal realm where it's shit, and he's just like,
He
Fuck it,
became an
burn it
emo
all.
kid. Yeah.
I mean, all I'm
he's
saying
not
is,
even good. Carry on.
with a second Blackwater, we can get like a double kill, bro. I'm pretty sure you get a bonus for that, bro.
Jesus.
He's got homeborn it right now.
I'm-
I'm not gonna lie, for like a minute I actually thought